you for picking up the sticks. This is take 2 of the opening, so it's not going to be nearly as dynamic as normal one is. It always feels funky when we have to redo it.
It is.
Like,
It's never the same.
It's never the same.
That's not the same natural flow we had.
It never is. But I'm Mike Cornett. To my right is Mike State-Carnia.
What's going on?
To my left, I had a nickname for Art Rosian. What I wanted to talk about, the nickname I had for Art was finding out 30-year-old secrets about himself, because I wanted to talk about the Super Punch-Out thing that just came up.
Oh, yes.
So you saw it. You saw it?
There was like a hidden 2-player mode in there.
Yes. They had like a secret menu that it looks like it's like for testing purposes, but you hit a certain thing on the D-pads or on the game pads, and then you can jump to any one of the fighters, so you can just jump right to any one of them and fight them. Or if the second player holds down a button combination when it all starts up, like they control the boss and have like a 2-player mode. Like, how cool is that?
That's pretty wild.
I mean, it's cool enough to have like a 30-year-old secret in a game, or like
yeah.
not even like a secret, but just like a feature in the game that's been there the whole time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It took 30 years for someone to find the debug mode in the game. That was never taken
Yeah,
out.
more or less. But but what's really funny is like it works on like the Super NES Mini. It works on the
nice.
it works on the Switch. Super Nintendo games on the Switch. Like it works on everything.
The
that's
fact that it
pretty
works on
cool.
the Switch version, I find really interesting. Like Super Nintendo Mini, they didn't rewrite the game to go on there. I mean, I suppose they didn't rewrite to go on the Switch either. But yeah, I mean, weird.
I think it's just so cool when those things like happen. Like, we found a secret from this game like from 30 years ago. And it's not like
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
it's not like the fake secrets from Nier Automata that was going around the internet 2 weeks ago or whatever the hell.
I remember that. Man, people were so convinced.
It was convincing.
It was.
So this time around, last couple episodes, I've been talking about my new trick that I do, or
Your new mini game.
my new mini game of does this game exist? So we're gonna play our. I got a list of probably about 15-ish, 20-ish games, and we're gonna play our favorite game. Does it exist? And we'll see. I don't want, but when we get into it, I want to have just like no. Like last week we talked about one, and I was just like, it doesn't exist. But I want to talk about if it does or doesn't exist, and like what state it's actually currently in.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I like it.
All right.
You're asking for a lot here.
Yeah, it's not that much. It's not that much.
Bow body. I like it.
Steak Witch plane.
All right. So I finish up Live Alive on the Nintendo Switch. Took me just over 20 hours. I got the bad ending.
Ooh.
But it's easy to get the other ending. All you got to do is re-beat the final boss and then pick a different thing, and then more stuff. You do more stuff after that.
Gotcha.
So I'll get back to that, but I initially rolled credits, and you know right away it's the bad ending, which is kind of awesome. Yeah, like my character, he basically broke the fourth wall, turned around, looked at me, and said, "Dumbass," and then the credits rolled. But the character I have, because you get to pick kind of which characters you bring into that final battle.
All right.
And so the character I have, it totally fit. Like, so I don't know if it's probably just that, because it totally fit that personality of that character. So I'm not sure if others do something different or however it works. But I knew right away the minute that was, I was like, that's the end. And then I looked it up. I was like, oh yeah, that was definitely the bad ending.
So I asked you last time. So do the stories kind of converge at the end? Is that the idea? Without,
in a way,
without spoiling it.
I don't want to.
Semi sort of yes.
Yeah. So yeah, in a way, yeah, they do.
Okay.
They do in a way. And it's very interesting the way it works. It's really cool. It actually, you could put a lot of time into the final chapter if you wanted to.
All right.
Like, I mean, I just got to a point where I was like, okay, well, I'm really enjoying this, but I'm like, let me get at least roll credits, and then I have options to always go back. So, which I think I will go back. I mean, definitely at least get to see the good ending, and then for other reasons as well.
Right.
So, but no, this game is fantastic. So if you're a big fan of JRPGs, make sure you pick that up on your Nintendo Switch. The main reason why I wanted to roll credits was because I also have Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in my hands at that time. So I'm only about 5-ish hours in, so I'm kind of getting a slow start on this one right now. But so far, it's great. It's great. It looks fantastic. The story is super interesting. I think I'm nearing the end of kind of like chapter-ish 1 or so. And everyone says that that's kind of like when it really like kicks into gear.
All right.
Like, I mean, the story's great right now, but it's like, okay, that's where you hit that first, like, oh, all right, this is gonna be cool kind of moment, and you keep going and then it just gets more and more through your hour and 140 hours of gameplay. So this is it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I mean, that took me over 100 hours, and it took me probably like a year and a half to get through it, honestly. So, I mean, so this is something where...
Yeah, I remember you saying you went back to it.
I go back to it for quite a while, take a break. I can see this happening again with this as well. Just as, as other games come out and stuff like that. But it's fantastic. It's so far, like I said, just a little bit I have played of it. It's great. It's a huge step forward in terms of graphics and everything. Especially in handheld mode, it looks fantastic in handheld mode. Where Xenoblade Chronicles 2 looked really terrible in handheld mode. So they really have done a really good job, and they kind of refined it's the same combat, but they've refined it enough to where it's kind of a little bit more of a the quality of life help here and there, which is nice. Another game that came out recently, I also grabbed Sword and Fairy Together Forever. So this is another one of the CRPGs, Chinese RPGs.
Oh, like what?
That have recently been kind of like coming out more so in the US and kind of getting a little bit bigger. I'm playing on it came out on PS4 and PS5. So I'm obviously playing on PS5. It looks stunning. It runs 60 frames, like it's so smooth. So I'm pretty sure it's 1080. 60, but like it looks and runs fantastic, and I'm really enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun so far. I think I'm only about 5-ish or so hours into it as well. I think I'm on like chapter 5, but those chapters are going a lot quicker the way they work. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. It's like kind of like more of like an action RPG, but it's good. And then finally, I did start up GTA 5 on Series X. So first of all, to install, when you're installing this game, there's 2 discs when you buy it physical. So there's 2 discs, but there's also a 53 gig update. So 2 discs. There's 43 gigs between the 2 discs, and then a 53 gig update.
How much is actually on the hard drive?
I don't know. I didn't look at the so, but I'm pretty sure it's like it's just. I think it's right around 100. Gig,
okay, so it's like Red Dead. It's like Red Dead.
Yeah. So pretty much, yeah. But so when I was installing it, though, the icon for it is Grand Theft Auto Online. So I was like, okay, like what? I'm kind of confused here. Like, where's when you go into it, then you get to pick between online or story mode. But the icon itself on like when you go into your games is Grand Theft Auto Online. It says nothing about Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, I really wish they would give you the option to
install separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have no intention of ever going to play GTA Online.
Same here. Like I wish I could. I mean, I might have to. I'll have to go in there and see if I don't. But I don't because of the way it's set up. I don't think there's going to be a way to like because
they're not going to change it now. I mean,
yeah. Well,
it's an almost 10-year-old game. Why are they going to change it now?
Right.
It hasn't stopped printing money yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, not like because like Doom Eternal, you've got it where if you go into it, you got the 2 where you can delete the online and still keep the campaign.
Or
so
even like
that's what I was just thinking. Like I was just thinking, oh, maybe I could do that, but yeah, with the icon, I doubt you could do that.
Whatever the last Call of Duty game was I played, Black Ops Cold War, I think.
Vanguard's the same way.
You could
separate, yeah.
There was like separate packages, like 3 separate things for the single player, and there was a separate one for the online, and there was a separate install for the zombies. So you could only install what you wanted to play.
Yeah.
Which is perfect. And then, if I finish the first third of the campaign, I could delete that.
Right. But yeah, so considering I have not played this since the PS3 era, it looks really good. Like it runs great. It looks really nice. It loads up in fidelity mode, so I actually moved it to the performance ray tracing. The ray tracing, like when you take over as Franklin. And then you enter your bedroom for the first time.
Yeah.
Like that sunlight's coming in and like laying out. Oh man, it looked good. Like it looked really nice. Like I mean, that's what I always notice. Like besides at in the evening during the day that's usually when I notice the ray tracing the most. It's like that kind of like the sunlight coming in the windows and stuff. Man, it looked great. And then of course then after that you get to rest and then it was nighttime and man, the city is just incredible. It runs so smooth. So that's something where, like I said, it was $20. I'm not going to be playing it from beginning to end right now. It's like that's something where as I feel I'm going to pop it on and play it from here and there and stuff for a little while. But But yeah, like I said, I can't remember. Like I totally remember the intro. Like I was like, okay, yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
as I started to do this, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. This is cool. And I do remember. I think on the PS3, I at least got to the point where you can again switch between all three characters. I think I at least got to that point at some on the PS3. I just got to the point where you can switch between Franklin and Michael now. So it was right after you slam into the car dealership there. So I got a little bit still ways to go to get at least back to the point where I was back on PS3. Because I didn't play even on PS3. I got to that point. Like I remember unlocking all three, not getting very much further than that. But no, like I said, it looks it's pretty. I mean, again, I didn't play it on PS4 and Xbox One, so I don't know what the difference is from that version of it.
Yeah.
But from going from PS3 to the Series X, wow. Like okay, I kind of. It's pretty impressive. Like it looks like a whole other game. Like it does, like visually. So it's pretty impressive.
Cool.
I hope so. They've had 2 generations to improve it.
Let's see. I'm curious. I would like to hear from. I would like to see someone that's played it last gen and now this gen to see how much of a difference it is from that kind of generation. But from that, at least it's nice to see that big of a gap from there to there, at least.
For sure. Art,
Yo.
what you playing?
So I'm taking a trip down the road of games that Mike has played.
Oh,
Those are my favorite games.
I have, I think, opposite feelings on the 2 games.
Oh, no.
that you
Okay.
had. So, let's start off. Download and playing PGA 2K21.
Oh.
Like you said, it's an easy golf game, but I feel like all the golf games are either really easy or if you put it on the hardest difficulty, it's damn near like impossibly difficult. So, it feels the last golf game I played before this was Rory McIlroy golf, which was I don't know, 6, 7 years ago.
that was like 360 PS3.
Yeah, it was like 16, 17.
I don't know. Yeah, it's been a minute, and it feels pretty much the same. Like slight differences, like there's the timing that you're downswing, which gives you will vary your accuracy or slice or draw on your shot. But I mean, it's a golf game. If you played a golf game anytime since like 2012. They all pretty much control the same. It's pretty, but I mean, I don't think that's hard to do in golf games. Yeah, I mean, it's sitting there, playing through the career mode, just, something a little less anger-inducing than Rainbow Six. So, been playing that mostly. I played Red Dead Redemption 2 for about 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, I just don't think that game's for me.
How far did you get?
Not very far. It's no longer winter,
Okay,
so I got that going for me.
Okay.
But
have you gotten to Valentine?
yes,
All right. Have you done the missions in Valentine?
not all of them.
Okay.
But like part of the annoying thing going through those missions, like one of the missions, I think I had to go into town and buy something. I don't know. Yeah, this is after like I went into town with some old guy and a bunch of girls, and there was a bar brawl and fighting in the street.
That seems awesome.
Yeah, I mean that was enjoyable.
Yeah, that was good.
But like that, so I went back in the town to do some other mission. It wasn't like a high action mission. It was like we're gonna go and buy this thing or talk to this person or do something. I think I went to go sell a horse and buy another one.
Yep. That's pretty much when you get like your first like decent horse.
So, I walk in there and we're in town. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to the shop and I lost my hat in that brawl, so I'm going to buy a new hat. Which the game constantly reminds you that you don't have a hat. I don't know why. Is it armor? I don't know. If it is, they didn't tell me.
You're a cowboy and you need a hat.
I don't care. So I'm walking through town and I go into the tavern and like I walk to there's a barber shop in the back. I walk to the back, get a haircut or something. I don't know. Waste money, whatever. And I turned to leave, and like I didn't see an NPC there, and I bumped into them. Now a fight breaks out, and so my options are either fight this person or let them beat the shit out of me. I probably die. So I fight them and beat them. Now I'm wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't start the goddamn fight.
Honestly, the only reason.
So now it's going to cost me $30 to be able to go in that town without being bothered by cops.
$30? What did you do?
I fought him.
That's all you did?
Yeah. Yeah.
That seems high.
I agree.
I feel like that wanted level would go down with like $10, $12.
I wish. So that annoyed me, and then the next part was my fault. I hit restart mission instead of go to the last checkpoint. And at that point, I just kind of turned it off. I'm like, I'm not riding back there and doing the horse transaction again and buying a hat again. I'm like, I'm going to go do something else.
Your hat is probably in your inventory on your horse.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think it's always there, if memory serves.
I say I've hit the point already where unless the game tells me that like I get some benefit from it, I'm done with the hats. Does it deflect a punch and give me more health? Okay. At some point, I will go back and try it again for a couple hours because I know it's a very long game, and I'm sure I'm not getting the full experience in the first 2 hours or whatever.
I would also encourage you.
But so far, not having a great time.
Are you just doing mission to mission?
At this point, kind of, yeah.
Okay. I would recommend taking a little time in Valentine just to kind of get your bearings, say hello to some people.
I did talk to some people around the town.
Yeah.
Not everyone, but some.
And just kind of walk around and get your, if you want to get, your good vibes in the town, like that usually helps you out with certain, I'm sure that's why your wanted was so much higher than usual because you weren't very well liked in that area.
I thought it was absurd. I mean,
because that's time you walk in and be like, we're not no trouble this time, right? Or just
I was in a scripted fight that I had no control over, and then one that I bumped into somebody I didn't know was there, and it was immediately a fight.
I feel like I really didn't get into too many random fights when I was playing. Like honestly, I really don't remember getting into too many that I didn't start myself.
Which
or whatever.
I didn't mind getting in a fight. Fine, I bumped into someone that took it the wrong way. We're in a fight, but then to have a wanted level and they want a $30 bounty when I have I think $25 at that point in the game. I'm like, no, I'm done for the night.
You gotta pick those fights when you're outside of the towns because there's no cop there,
dude,
or no one sees it. Nothing happens. You just get away with it.
If I planned on picking the fight, I would have found a guy standing next to a cactus somewhere and picked the fight.
Yeah, I'd say give it a little time to not be in some missions because honestly, I feel like I made way more money outside of missions than I ever did in missions. So I had a pretty decent bankroll pretty much right away.
I still don't want to drop $30 to pay off a bounty for something that was out of my control.
That's crazy.
So at some point, I'll jump in there and try it again for a few more hours. We'll see if it clicks, but right off the bat, and like I said, part of it was my fault for hitting restart mission instead of load last checkpoint. And the second I did it and it loaded me back to Valentine, I was like, no, I'm not doing that again right now. So that's I played more. Went back to oldie but goodie for me, Slay the Spire. That's a good game to just kind of. You can't really turn off your brain when you're playing it, but again, it's not the high-intensity, fast-moving Rainbow Six that I play, every night for 7 years. Yeah, that's about it.
I only played a couple things myself. I talked about Call of Duty Vanguard because I actually played it for a little while.
How was it?
So,
because it's like $10 right now.
Yeah. I'm
2 hours.
Yeah, no, but only the last gen version.
Don't care.
I didn't see that. I didn't notice that. That's right.
So I played about halfway through. I'm halfway through the story, the campaign right now, and it is freaking beautiful. For one, it's the very first mission you're on. You're on a train, and there's two trains, and you're kind of going back and forth, and shooting Nazis and trying to stop the train. And it's raining, and it's gorgeous. It is really breathtaking how good it looks, and there's some other really cool missions in there. The story seems interesting. It's like a multi-country elite squad of people, from the Axis trying to, But where I'm at right now, I know the story is Hitler dies, and then as opposed to there being this huge power vacuum like there was in real life, there's someone who steps up into his shoes and basically continues World War II. So now I'm getting into alternate history version of it right now, which is
some good alternate history,
which is usually very interesting.
Right.
So up until this point, it was just it's pretty and I'm shooting things. Cool. You know what I mean? It didn't really do. It had a couple of moments, and it had one really cool moment in there, I thought, with the female character who's a sniper. And then and the way the story goes is you get captured pretty early, and then it's you and your squad mates in the cell, and then the one guy pulls everyone out to interrogate them, and then you get their backstory, how they got into the squad, more or less. So I'm not even into present time fighting right now. Until the train was present time fighting, everything else past that point has been in the past, early portion of World War II.
Yeah.
Getting to where I'm at right now. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't know how they could ever do World War II again and not have an alternate history of it because they've done it so many times.
Right.
And I don't know what possessed me to just finally start playing this game because it's been out for like a year now. But yeah, I mean, impressions are it's a Call of Duty game so far. That's really all I got for that one. Secondly, I've never heard of a game or a comic book called Black Sad.
No.
Okay.
I saw you playing that. I didn't know.
I saw you playing it. I tried looking it up, but I was
How often are you guys like, what the fuck's he playing? Like, honestly,
Not often, because I never see you on PlayStation.
I was gonna, actually, that's true. Yeah, this was the first time I actually
It was the first time I saw you on, and then there was like my entire friends list was on. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I don't know. For like the longest time, like I was trying to be visible online, and it just like wouldn't do it for some reason. I was like, who cares? So like I finally figured it out. I think some of my recent update finally got me back online. But whatever. So it's called Black Sad Under the Skin. I think Under the Skin. So Black Sad is a comic book series from like the late 90s. I want to say it's a detective noir, like straight up 1950s New York, like as noir as it gets. But all the people are like animals. So think like Adult Zootopia. And
Okay.
You're in the headspace of this game.
Okay.
They have a little bit like, so one of so beginning of this game, it's so funny. I always go through options first. Like no matter the very first thing I do in any video game is go through options. And I click on like the tutorial was unchecked. I'm like, okay, check the tutorial because I haven't played this game before. I knew it was an adventure game, but we'll see. So I get into it, and like literally the game starts like, okay, we saw that you clicked the tutorial on, but this game is pretty much just like any other game in the genre. Do you sure you want tutorial on? Which I thought was really weird because like, are you sure you want to learn? I mean, it's just like all the other games, but it is like straight up a Telltale game. Like It is. You're walking around environments, you're picking up clues, you're advancing a story through dialogue and dialogue choices. Black Sad is a cat, so you are this big cat man, and he does have.
Are cat games the new battle royale?
This game is actually old, so like if that's true, this started the trend. I think this came out like 2017, 2018, something like that. Excuse me. So. And as a cat, like you do have like there's points in the when you're doing like interrogations or talking to people that there's an icon on there that allows you to use like your hypersenses, so you can use like hearing and smelling and seeing better. You can zoom in on clues and get more context. The story tells a story of like the very first scene, like on the press start menu screen. There's a guy hanging, and then the story starts with you trying to solve the mystery of. Like, this guy was found hung. Cops think it's a suicide. Daughter does not think that's what it is. And that's where you progress. You're a private eye, and they hire you to go through this. But, like, very early on, you get to kind of mold your Black Sad. Like, how do you want him to be more gentle, more forceful? You want to, like, take bribes? You want to be in, like, kind of more on the dark side of this thing, on the light side of this thing, which does give you some more choices as you go along. I guess there's 6 different endings on this one. I feel like I got the best one because I got the one where like the 2 most important people were still alive and not in prison. So I feel like that's about as good as it gets. Yeah. But like I felt that there was a decent amount of things that could change, and depending on like your relationships with people like the local local reporter he's a weasel, by the way, which is really funny. But he's always just kind of just there taking pictures, like, God damn, there he is again, or my relationship with the police commissioner or police chief, like if because I can like phone him if I'm like thinking like I'm onto something, like I can phone him in, bring him in, and like bring him into the case along with me and give him my details, or I can be like, nah, I don't want him to be here because I want to do this more off the books or underhanded, you know what I mean? So you got like those kind of options, and depending on like how good your relationship is with them at the end portions of the game, you get either more information or more options and how you want it to finish and things like that. So I think those pieces of it were all very good. Technically speaking, a little rough. There's a couple portions of the game that are like time. Like you get this thing and you have like a lighter and you got to like find something in this room, this dark room with only a lighter, and until the fuel goes out. And it's just like the fuel just kept going out on me because like the control is not great. Like it's like you go up against like a desk and then you gotta like turn like come on, just get off the desk, get off the desk. Get off the desk. Okay, now I'm free of the desk. And it's just little things like that. But most times it doesn't make that big of a difference. But sometimes when there are timed things, it makes a huge difference.
Sure.
The story goes off of the rails a little bit near the end. Like it went a place if I had 1,000 guesses, I would not have guessed that's what we were doing here, which is sometimes good, but in this case doesn't make. It seemed like. All right, how are we going to attach these two things? Like, I know this random ass thing needs to put them together.
Yeah.
As opposed to like what they were kind of going along the way. I died a lot in this game, and like it feels like the fail states were like, all right, you died, like you got shot or you fell off or whatever, as opposed to being like, and I feel like there weren't like the really good versions of these Telltale games, like either Telltale games or like Supermassive games or whatever it is. They adjust the story if you fail, as opposed to you have failed, try again. So like that was one thing too. It was just like, okay, well I fail, I can try it again. Oh, I fail, I can try it again. There was no like urgency to be like really into it, to be like, all right, I gotta do this perfect, or I'm gonna miss something, if the person's gonna die and everything's gonna be screwed up, like the Quarry is, or something like that. You know what I mean? So it missed that pieces of the tension. But I mean, you can find this game everywhere for like $5 now. So if you like the like Telltale type of a thing, if you like the noir detective type thing, and the way the last thing I want to say about this is the detective mode in this game is like you do like the deductions where you have like you go into your mind and you see all these different clues and you got to piece them together to get like a new bit of information. Like I have deduced that this makes sense with this, therefore this thing must be true. You can never be wrong about it. Which is, we talked about that last time. Like, I love being wrong in detective stuff. Like, you can't be wrong. He just goes, nope, you're wrong, try again.
Right.
Nope, you're wrong, try again. So it's definitely like, it definitely does keep you on the rails as you go down. But again, this game's like $5. You've like Telltale games, you've like detective games, you've like noir games. It fits a lot of those bills. Again, I would say soft recommend. If you fit in all those categories where you have $5 to waste and you like all those things, if you're that guy, you're going to like this game.
I feel like with the $5 price tag, there's not really a soft recommend. It's like it's $5. If you like any of these genres, it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Like it's like
it's a notch above Game Pass. Why not?
Yeah, right. There you go.
It's a couple of bucks. Why not? It's like I see it on a digital. I see it on digital sale all the time. I actually got a physical copy of it because it was one of those like, pick 4 games for $20 at GameStop type deals. And I was like, I didn't hear about that game before. I'm like, I like these things. Like, let me try it. So like, I got it for literally $5. So yeah, I'd recommend it for that much. But I think that's really all I've been playing. That and some random WWE stuff here and there, which is now my
beaten into the ground. That's your siege.
Which is now my siege. So I'm not gonna.
I'm not talking about it anymore.
I'm not gonna unless something really crazy happens. But the last DLC came out. Probably the last update came out. So there should be no real new news on that front until a new game comes out. So.
Yeah, no, actually, really quick. So the Analog Pocket. So that's the handheld thing. Just released their new update not too long ago, and it opened it up. So there are now a ton of gaming cores added to it. So I've got Game Boy Color, Game Gear, Neo Geo. That was a little weird right now. It's not
Neo
working.
Geo's is weird.
It's working, but it's a pain in the ass to make it work. So, but they just said that an update is coming to make it not such a pain in the ass to work. Master System, SG-1000. It's great.
Very cool.
This is kind of what everyone was waiting for, and it's fantastic.
Very, very cool. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, you had that from the beginning. I mean, how much have you really been playing that thing up until now?
Up until here and there.
But this is kind of what you were waiting on. Everyone was waiting on.
This is pretty much what everyone was kind of waiting for.
Does it still require like physical games to play all those things, or can you do it's emulation?
It's basically it's basically hardware emulation now too, which is awesome because it's like that open FPGA,
whatever.
It's so what is it? You
FPGA.
Load games onto an SD card, or
yes,
okay,
yes. So you put it up, so you have to actually load up the cores, and you have to have the BIOS for this because it's doing the hardware emulation. You have to have the BIOS for it and everything. That's where the Neo Geo's kind of weird right now. Like there's other stuff, like there's like one BIOS that works way better than others and stuff, and they're trying to make it all work better.
Was this functionality something they announced like when they first announced the device?
No, not exactly.
They said like it was like it's gonna be open. Like we're gonna like give you that development tool. They said something like that though, right?
Yeah, because originally from day one, I mean that GB Studios on here, that Game Boy Studio, and where you can create your own Game Boy and Game Boy Color games, and like that's kind of what people figured out how to make. Oh, well, if we just take the Game Boy Color ROM, but then we make a pocket. We could patch it with the pocket file so it reads through Game Boy Studio. It'll launch it as such. So that was kind of the workaround until this came out. So there was that, but that only worked for Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. So now it's like, but now we've got Game Boy Advance and, everything now.
No, the reason I was asking that was because when that was announced, it had the functionality that it did, but to me, the price seemed high, which all their prices for their hardware seems high, but it's top-notch hardware.
Right.
Like, everyone who gets that stuff, and the thing, too, is, they make so many, and that's it.
Right.
So if you don't buy them when they launch, you're probably not getting it for less than what that original launch price was at some point in the future. I say if they had that functionality announced at the beginning, that would more justify the price in my mind, but it's one of the things I'm not really sure. Yeah. The whole emulation thing is really a gray area. I'm not sure how you can announce that and market your device with that and have it be legal. So
right, yeah, because technically for them it's like they're not the ones creating or providing the cores. It's just like here's open source kind of basically. Here's open hardware source. And then it's other people creating them. I mean, so and they've even because now the fact that someone was able to replicate the Neo Geo, everyone's like, okay, well, what else does that mean now? The fact that you were able to do that, what can you? So everyone's waiting for Sega CD. People are waiting for obviously with Neo Geo Pocket, Neo Geo Color. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and actually everyone's wondering. Everyone's thinking curious if I'm not sure if it's gonna hit, but everyone's wondering if the max is PS1.
Oof,
everyone's wondering if PS1 will, if they're able to get that going on this. I think that's if they do, that will it'll be the furthest it'll go is it won't go any further than that.
Yeah.
But man, if they could somehow pull off PSX, that would be just insane on this thing.
Yes, I texted you guys recently about I saw about people putting RetroArch on their Series S and X.
Oh yeah,
and I watched. It was a 12-minute video, and it was literally just go to this website on Edge on just on your Xbox, download this. It's like a normal app that you would just get from that, and then change these settings, and you're good. Yeah. You don't need to go into development mode or do any of those things. It's just
ready
there
to go.
And it works. It's really tempting.
Yeah.
But it's also I don't know how much I don't want to mess with my $500 piece of equipment.
That's the thing. It's still a current console for me, so I'm I'll emulate on my PC.
Yeah.
How long until Microsoft, catches wind of this and looks into it and either blocks it, which would just be a mild inconvenience, or does something more.
Worse.
From what I've seen online, it sounds like they're preparing just to block it.
Which,
Microsoft's not going to they're not going to ban you because it's not like you're stealing their games and all that.
You're not hacking the system at all. If you're just downloading something and running an app and changing a few settings, that's that's kind of on them to block that if there's something not kosher going on.
Yeah, and that's what it sounds like it's going to happen.
I also saw someone running Windows XP on their Series X, which blew my mind.
It surprises me that they were able to run Windows XP in modern times, but it doesn't surprise me they were running that on Series X. The Microsoft devices are basically just PCs with Windows running.
Right.
The Xbox OS is just a version of Windows.
And they loaded
Windows Xbox,
OG Quake and OG Mist. And it was just oh my god!
Awesome.
It ran well. There's some weird graphics thing with they used to have a graphics booster thing, whatever it is.
Yeah, ran a 21-year-old OS on there.
Can't imagine what the problems are. Speaking of, I don't know what kind of rabbit hole we're going down here, but
the person goes to one website, they're gonna be flooded with viruses. Just any website. They haven't security patched that OS in 10 years at least.
I was trying to find out because the only missed game I never finished was 5. Never played it, never finished it, and like I don't think there's a way to play that game on like current PC specs because like there's a Windows. I think it's XP. It's like as far up as it goes. Anything beyond that, it just doesn't even work.
It won't work with like compatibility mode.
I don't know. Like I've never. It seemed like I was reading like the reviews and some people were like kind of itchy about it.
I know sometimes stuff like it'll run, but not necessarily well.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I mean, it's on Steam, so like, I can buy it on Steam right now if I wanted to.
Huh.
So I saw. I was like, man, like there's got to be a way to do it. Like they're not going to sell it on Steam with it not being incompatible for the last 10 years.
Yeah. Right.
With everything else. So there's got to be a way to play it.
Probably just need a Steam Deck.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
I may not have pre-ordered one of those.
Ooh,
Hey.
they actually have or
Yeah.
ooh man, I'm telling you, it is.
I'm not going to have it till like December maybe, but
Everyone's gonna be done by this year. They said they ramped up
Yeah, they said
production.
throughout, it sounds like through the end of this year. Yeah.
I checked it like 2 days ago. I'm like, what's my status on it? Is it October to December? I'm like, we'll see how I feel when that comes around.
Oof, man, that's
Well, that's the thing. You'll get the email, then you have like 3 days to complete it.
They just they're stew over it and be like,
Yeah, they
do
stew
I
over
really
3
want to spend
days.
this money?
Which I did, and money well
yeah. I say I'm.
How many times have you used it?
sold it.
Yeah, like, there's money well
I
earned.
It was literally in my household for 2 hours. I got it delivered, took pictures, got it online. Someone hit buy it now. I took it to the post office.
That's great. You had the packaging already and everything.
It was amazing. Yeah, I just retaped it up and then slapped the label over my label. That's all I did.
I forget where we were when you told me that. It's like I got my Steam Deck. Like, oh, awesome. He's like, I sold like what? He's like, I made this much money. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, that's fine. I understand.
That was the easiest 2 hours of my life.
Your income per hour.
My income per hour was ridiculous.
That's as high as
taking
ever,
two
it will ever
pictures.
be.
Shit, I wish it was like...
For taking a couple pictures, slapping a piece of tape on something,
Yep.
and taking a drive.
Yeah, dude, that's tempting business, though, man. I said the Steam Deck is.
I just couldn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, seeing more of it now and seeing more of the games that are actually compatible and stuff like that. It's in my interest still to potentially actually own one, but at that time it was just like, yeah, I can't not, because I was in that first I was in that second shipment, so I was super early on when people thought they weren't going to get theirs for forever. So, yeah.
Steak, what's coming on the next couple weeks?
So yeah, Steam Deck, August 12th, Spider-Man Remastered is coming out.
People are preloading it already.
Yep. I hear it works very well on the Steam Deck.
I heard it works for 1 hour and 10 minutes or 10 seconds.
Oh yeah,
on a battery, on a full battery.
Oh, I said, oh my
itself.
God, Jesus, that's ridiculous. See, they need to improve that.
It's like, I feel. I mean, okay, at some point they're gonna have a Steam Deck 2, right? I imagine.
You'd think.
Or just like a version 2. Where,
Yeah, like an
however
upgrade or
yeah,
something.
something. Yeah,
Maybe maybe
that'll be the time.
Yeah.
August 16th, Roller Drome for PC, PS4, and PS5. August 18th, RPG Time: The Legend of Right is finally coming out for Switch and PS4.
God, that was like forever ago when they got announced.
Finally coming out. August 19th, Madden 23, PC, PS4, PS5, and Xbox. They promise this is the most polished Madden in years.
We'll see.
They say that every year, don't they?
Last year was supposed to be the most updated franchise of all time, and that thing was a complete steaming pile of shit.
We have 1 1/3 updates.
Sounds about right. And August 23rd, Saints Row, PC, PS4, PS5, and Xbox.
Man, it's like imminent. I still feel like that's like months away, but it's not. It's coming real
it's
soon.
coming. It's weird though. It's on a Tuesday. 23rd.
It is weird.
I also feel like I've seen nothing about that game.
Lately, like considering, it's supposed to be coming out in a couple weeks. That's kind of weird. So last time we had PlayStation Plus, we did not have Xbox games with gold. If you want to know, August 1st to the 31st, Calico. August 16th through September 15th, Scourgebringer. August 1st through the 15th, Saints Row 2. August 16th to the 31st, Monaco, What's Yours is Mine. And Game Pass, here we go. Already on Game Pass, Ghost Recon Wildlands, cloud, console, and PC.
That's the one you weren't super high on, right?
It's the most
No, I haven't had a problem with the Ghost Recon games.
That was the most recent one, wasn't it?
No,
I think?
Breakpoint was the most recent one.
Oh, that's right.
Then never mind.
So the one before that, that's right.
Yeah.
On August 4th, Zhejiang IO was added for PC. Also on the 4th, Turbo Golf Racing, Cloud PC and Xbox Series XS. Anyone try that?
No, I have not. It's like Rocket League with golf.
That's I know that's what it looked like. I was kind of curious if that's
Like I don't know how it's not a Rocket League mode. Like I don't know how they spun that off into a whole game.
Interesting.
Did they spin it off, or is it different people?
No, different people.
It's different
people.
It's so ripped off.
Yeah, the lawsuit's coming.
Yeah.
Wait, you're driving cars and hitting a ball? Call the lawyers.
That's right. August 9th, 2 Point Campus was added for cloud, console, and PC. This is tomorrow, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it is. Or it's the time of recording. August 11th, Cooking Simulator. It's the year of the simulators for cloud, console, and PC. There's over 80 recipes.
Yeah, I saw the power washer out on your deck. Did you finally go out there and power wash something?
I didn't.
Of course
Laura's
not.
been doing
Of
it.
course not. Of course not.
So-
I see how long it takes her to do that shit. I'm like, man, this is way better to do in the comfort of my home.
So,
inside.
okay. Totally forgot. So this is probably going to give you a preview of how I thought about it. I played about two and a half hours of Power Wash Simulator, and Art was right. It is, and like what was really stupid about the whole thing for me was just like, where's all the water going? Because that's all I think about when I'm actually power washing is just like, man, I gotta make sure the water's gotta go somewhere. So like,
Get the push broom out.
for real, that was just. It took forever to do that guy's backyard.
Oh,
Like,
that was
oh
a
my
pain.
god! I was like,
All the little tiny things.
Oh, you get it.
And also, and
You didn't
honestly,
get all
it
the
gets,
pond
it gets
rocks.
harder after that.
forget it.
It gets way crazier.
Yeah,
after
I'd
that.
rather
did
spend the time power washing something at my house.
I did a van, I did a backyard, I did a motorbike.
Yep.
And then the next one was this. I forget what the next one
playground?
was. The playground. I'm like, I'm out. Look
Dude,
at this
the
thing.
playground's
I looked around. I'm like,
pain in
nope.
the ass.
Nope. I'm out.
You have to power wash each individual wood chip.
Forget it.
The playground was a huge pain in the ass.
Add it on a list of things I don't get.
Yeah. It's
Just
I
relaxing, man.
I'll relax and golf or slay the spider or something.
Also on August 11th, Expeditions Rome for PC, and also on August 11th, Off-World Trading Company for PC. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. Leaving on August 15th, so make sure you guys get on these. Or actually, yeah, this
Yes, I got a
weekend.
couple days.
Yeah, I got this weekend. Boyfriend Dungeon.
Fuck.
Yeah, get on that. Curse of the Dead Gods. Library of Ruina. Starmancer. And Art, don't be too broken up on this one. Train Sim World 2.
That might be more interesting than Power Wash Simulator. Because you know what? I can't go outside and drive a train.
I'll be honest. Cooking Simulator, it's probably going to be super dumb and lame. But it says it's got 80 legit recipes. So if anything, I'm hoping just to learn a new recipe to actually make it
All right.
out of that.
You have the internet on your phone, right?
Well, yeah,
You have millions of recipes at your
you know how many
fingertips.
times- yeah, but you always look up shit, and then websites. It's all the same shit. So it's like this could end up being the same shit, but you never know. Every once in a blue moon, I come across something new. So we'll see. I'll give it a shot. It says it's like real life, like realistic physics and shit, whatever the hell that means.
See,
So if you drop the egg in the frying pan the wrong way, the yolk's gonna break,
Hey, there you go.
and suddenly you need to make scrambled eggs out of that egg instead of
Yeah,
you can't use it for
to the
fried
sunny
egg
side.
anymore.
Yeah.
I have anxiety when I cook. Straight up, Beth's Beth knows this, and it's just something that's of the many things that are wrong with me. This might be the most wrong with me. It's just I straight up. It's just
Sounds like a
I
convenient
lose.
excuse.
No. It's I still do it, but I'm just the portion of it that gives me the most anxiety is the middle part because I don't know what it's supposed to look like. I know what it's supposed to look like. I know what it looks like unprepared. I know what it looks like totally done, but I don't know what it's supposed to look like in the middle of it. So I figure something's going wrong in the middle of it. And is this eventually going to look right or wherever it is? So maybe this cooking simulator would be look, this is what it's supposed to look like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But the recipe doesn't tell you okay, this is going to be a little bit it's going to go from red and it's going to be a little bit brown, but if it gets too bright, I don't know.
Welcome to my fucking life.
Oh.
Colorblind is kind of hard to tell how red the meat is inside.
It's just like everything. It's am I mixing it?
That's why when you guys see me cooking at the kids' birthday party, I always have the meat thermometer out.
I noticed that. And I'm just oh, good for Art. And I never put two and two together though.
It's because I can split a burger open and I'm going to be I can't tell if
Sure.
it's done.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
I can't tell if it's done, and I'm not getting
it.
everyone here sick.
I never thought of that. That's awesome.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, It's me. It's paranoia and colorblindness, and
I wouldn't even try if I was colorblind. In my current state, I wouldn't be like, I just can't. I'm going to kill everybody.
well, see, I thought about that, and I looked into catering, and
Holy shit.
yeah,
it's nuts.
yeah,
It's so expensive,
Yeah, it's
cater.
like 5 times as expensive as making
It's
the food.
insane.
Yeah, and
it's
like
crazy.
I think my anxiety is it's like if I'm just cooking for myself, I don't give a shit. But like if someone else is going to eat this food, like
You know what? I can tell when a frozen pizza's done. Okay.
Hell yeah.
I say the only thing I get a little antsy about when I'm cooking is chicken, just because it's like because
Yeah.
you know, because if I'm cooking like red meat, if it's a little under, it's okay. Like I mean, it's probably gonna be okay. If anything, it might even be better. I mean, to be honest, but like I mean, depending on obviously the meat itself, but
Right.
but chicken, that's just the one thing. And I've been getting better, but I always tend to I know it too. Because like the minute I start eating, I'm like I want a little more. I want a little too much on this. Like it's a little dry. Like,
the kicker with chicken is you go. There's such a short window from
it is.
I cooked it good to it's dry and stringy and it tastes like shit. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah, because most recently I had one cook where man, it was like the juiciest chicken I've had in a long time. I'm like, yes, I like did this perfect. I'm like, this is so good. I'm like, I probably will never do this again, but this is so good.
Welcome to the Chopsticks podcast.
And just like Melissa was upset with you about watching the power washing simulator. Like if Beth watches me do like fake cooking, she's gonna throttle me in my sleep. Like there's no doubt about
I'm
it.
gonna throttle you. That's what the pillows are for.
Oh my god.
True.
Extra.
Well, hang on. Steak, you need to start including some opposition programming here in your updates
Oh.
because the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium updates are
Oh,
out for
thank
August.
you. That's right. I do need to start adding that.
I have the list.
This terrible list. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
okay.
So for Extra, you're getting Bug Snacks, Dead by Daylight. Those games are both PS4 and PS5. The rest of this list is you're getting the PS4 versions only, which there may not be PS5 versions or updates. I don't know. Ghost Recon Wildlands, Metro Exodus, Monopoly Madness, which if you played Monopoly, that's a madness in itself.
Madness.
Monopoly Plus, Trials of Mana, Uno, Wheel of Fortune, and Yakuza 0, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2. For Premium, you get nothing. You get those extra games, but you're not getting any classic games. You're not getting anything additional.
Nope. Nothing. Nothing on premium this round.
Doesn't seem very premium.
Nope.
But Uno's awesome.
That's great.
I love Uno.
Depending on the rules you're playing with in Uno, it might be just as maddening as Monopoly.
Very true. No, good point. I will start adding that when because that's that one update a month on that one.
Wait, you bring up a good point though.
What?
So when you're playing Uno,
Yeah.
I put down a +2.
Here we go.
Do you have to play? Do you just draw 2, or if you have a +2, you can put that on, and this person gets +4?
The second option you gave there. I played the
I
+2
stack.
on yours.
I
and
stack.
stacked.
Goddamn right.
I stack. Everyone stacks. Uno themselves have said that's wrong, but fuck you guys.
Who cares? You know what? you know what? The money's not supposed to go into free parking in Monopoly, but
That's right.
It does.
It does.
House rules, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's right. No.
House rules
you gotta
exist to make
stack.
games more fun.
Cool. We can play Uno then, because
We're gonna need a
Well,
lot
it's
of
just
beer. We're gonna need a lot of beer.
Someone, you can stack WoW +4s too, right?
yeah,
Absolutely. You can stack anything.
anything that's more than. So if it's 2 and 2, and it's 4, and I have a +4, I can do that. But anything above that, I can't do. See, if it's 2, 2, 4, that gives you 8, then you have to put down at least a 4.
Oh, see, I don't do that. What I do is if it's you could keep stacking +2s on top of a +2,
Yeah.
but you can't like if it's
And
like
whoever
2
can't
+2,
stack it
you
gets
can't
the
then
whole-
put up a wild +4. You can only stack
Right.
+2s. Where then if someone plays a wild +4 against you, you could put a wild +4. Like it has to be
Okay.
same card.
Same thing. Okay.
Like,
Ours is always
and
like
you keep
same.
going.
Ours is always same or greater.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
someone can like literally draw like 24, 25.
Right.
cards
Oh yeah,
in one
absolutely.
spot.
But yeah, no, that's it. I only do like same cards.
I've played
Like,
games
how
where
I-
I've been the person drawing the 20 cards.
Oh, me too.
It
I've been there
sucks.
before. It's awful.
It happens.
But you know what? Actually, later on, it actually
I was
works
saying-
out because you got more of a variety when they're trying to close out. And you can,
Yeah, it's fun when people are trying to close out and you're like, skip,
Hit 'em.
Yep,
skip,
gotcha,
reverse,
gotcha.
skip, draw 2, skip,
especially if you
skip.
get some of those. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, let's just keep going.
Now it's time for the news. Not a lot of news. Marvel Midnight Suns has been delayed. They have not given a new date. I don't think anyone's surprised by that. We talked last episode how they haven't shown gameplay of that yet. Tons of little hype GIFs and videos, but no gameplay.
They showed something at some point with I remember numbers popping off people, but that seemed like a pre-set up video.
It was very, very short. Yeah, it wasn't like an actual gameplay. It was like a quick little glimpse.
Yeah.
And then IGN also had that like first look or whatever, we had a little bit more, but it still looked fake. It didn't look like someone was actually playing it. Like it still looked like it was.
It was a video of what the gameplay would look like.
Like a trailer. Yeah, exactly. Like someone edited this video. It wasn't someone just straight up playing. Like, yeah, the minute they said that, I was not surprised whatsoever.
No, I mean, yeah, we literally talked about this last time. It was just like this game's coming out like in a month or so, and we have not seen
Allegedly.
it yet. So
And now it's not coming out in a month.
no,
Which I'm not. I saw that announcement. I was not the least bit surprised.
Yeah, I'm happy because it's one less game that for me to decide if I want or not.
one last big ass.
Yeah,
game.
don't worry. I'll have it in 2023 to figure out with everything else.
With everything else, well, hopefully when that does come out, I'll have everything else, or then I'll just skip it anyways, or just wait for a heavy sale.
I mean, I have a feeling like once they put out a video of actual gameplay and they show what it is, it's going to weed out a lot of the people who are on the fence about whether or not they want that
Oh,
game.
100%. And I mean, it also, this is 2K, right? It was
2K for
It's
access.
like,
For access,
right.
yes.
Yeah. So this will be discounted in no time. So after it comes
That's
out.
true.
The only other news item I have is Sony's sent out the beta invites for their next PS5 update. What we're looking at for feature upgrades: 1440p video output, game lists, which I guess will be similar to folders in your game library. You can compare 3D audio and stereo audio, which I guess is good if you're trying to figure out which one to use for which game you're playing. I know for a game like Siege, that's a huge difference. Like, you don't want 3D audio in Siege because the game engine already kind of does 3D,
Sure.
spatial audio, I guess. Easier access to in-progress activities. When resuming a game, in-progress activities are often shown prominently at the top of the game hub to make it as easy and as fast as possible to get back where you left off. New social features. You can request someone to share their screen, which anytime I see Mike online going forward, I'll request him to share a screen.
Yeah, so what the fuck is this? Oh, that's what it is.
Joinable game notifications. So when you join a party and someone in the party is playing a game, you'll get a prompt right there to join their game if you want. You can view new friends' profiles immediately after accepting the friend request, which, it wasn't that hard to get there before, but okay. You can send stickers and voice messages in GameBase. I'm hoping you can only do voice messages to friends, otherwise that can get real toxic real quick. But yeah, that's what they're piloting out there now. My thoughts on the 1440 is it's about time.
Yeah.
Should have been there at launch.
Yeah.
It's not. My thought is at launch they should have done all the common resolutions from whatever the lowest is you support up to 4K. It should have supported all that.
Yep.
They said they'll support 8K, but there's no 8K games, and I question whether the PS5 can really support 8K.
I also saw
Unless you're playing something like a pixelated, retro game.
Oh, yeah.
I saw something about, I think it's on Twitter, about like the 1440 doesn't do VRR though, or just
Right.
some other
It doesn't.
like
Nope, it doesn't.
weird
doesn't do VRR
caveat.
and there was something else. God, there was some, but like people were like, "Well, thanks, but no thanks." At the same time,
almost there, Sony.
I mean, progress.
if you're gonna launch it, launch it.
Yeah, and I mean the folders thing. I wish it was on the main screen, but I do like that because I do like
I know you're a folders guy.
Oh, I love my folders.
Oh yeah,
And going into the library is just a wasted task for me at this point because of all your games you ever claimed on PlayStation Plus show up in there.
The way it is on PS5 right now, it's just a shit show. Like it's a mess.
Yeah, it's just everything. Like
You know,
it's just
if you want to find a
everything.
digital game, your best just search for the game itself. Because it's a
Sort
freaking
it
mess.
alphabetically and just scroll until
exactly.
you start seeing games that letter.
It's crazy.
So yeah, I mean the game list again, good progress. I'll be happier when they put it back on your home screen. That's the other thing too. A thing that bugs me about the home screen on the PS5 is like there's games on there that I haven't played in like 6 months or more, and I can't remove them from the home screen. They're there.
Really? So
I
as
thought you
like,
could remove things from a home screen now.
well, I don't think you can remove them, but as you play stuff, it should knock it
I
off,
guess-
knock things off at the end. So maybe you're just not playing
Yeah,
enough different things and knock them out.
It's guilty.
But still though, but it's like
I would like to just remove some of our games I don't even own anymore. Like it was I think Aliens Fire Squad Elite or whatever the hell. I don't own that game anymore. Let me delete the fucking thing off the screen.
I don't think if you That's weird. I would think if you delete the game off your system,
You'd think, but
that's really weird.
I assure you that is
crazy.
a game that I deleted with prejudice.
Yeah, no, that's pretty wild. That's kind of crazy.
The 3D audio, stereo audio thing, I think, like I said, that could be good for certain games depending on how the game processes audio. Figuring out how you want to do it.
And that's what you do. There's times where like a game says it has it, I have it on, and I'm like, is it? Like I don't really notice it. Like so, it'd be kind of nice to kind of like
hear the
I'll be
difference.
Like,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not what I thought it was normal, but no, I actually this is what I'm missing if I don't have it on.
Right.
So it would be nice to kind of get that.
The rest of the stuff, I really.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Just
I mean-
like okay, cool.
So the one about the joining games that party members are in. So like prior to an update that came out maybe 6 months ago or so, you used to be able to if you're in a party with someone, you could go to their name, click on it, see what game they're playing, click on the game, join, and if their party's open in the game, you can join into the game.
Yeah.
Now if you do that, you go and it sends them a request to let you join the game. And if they accept it, then it sends you an invite back for the game, which is stupid.
Huh.
But I'm curious now, is this just going to be another way to do the same thing, to send a request and then get an invite back?
That'll be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah. But yeah, the other stuff, I mean, I'm sure there's someone out there who cares about it. That voice messages thing, ooh. Like, I'm not worried about it because I have my like messages and everything locked down that only my friends can send me messages and stuff. If you have that open though, ooh, that could get ugly.
That could be interesting.
No, thank you.
I prefer to communicate with only the people I know and want to communicate with, and I don't want anyone else even have the option to communicate with me.
Even like when we're playing like a multiplayer game with like other people on the squad, like we're not even, we turn that chat off and play party chat. Like,
Right.
Right. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Right.
Even if we're like working together, I don't want to talk to you.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I've same.
All right.
That's it. That's the news.
That's the news. All right, let's play. Does it exist? So I got a list of a bunch of games. I separated them out in different categories.
These are like real announced games, right? Not shit you just made up.
I just made up 20 games here.
Hey,
There are a couple of them at the end.
listen. I just want to make sure I understand the premise of the game.
Okay. Yeah, so
They
like these
should be-
games have
yeah.
either been announced, we've seen a title card, we've seen something of it in some way, shape, or form. Except for the last two. And those are just like speculation and fun to talk about.
That's okay.
With
Fair
current group. I separate them into different categories. So first category are, I don't know, let's call them troubled sequels. Okay?
Okay.
So first one's easy. Beyond Good and Evil 2.
They just hired a.
They
lead
just hired a
writer.
director after 6 years.
They just
So my thought is, because of that, no, it's not a game, but it will be a game. It may never be released, but at some point it will actually be in development there.
Right. I would say this is not a game right now. This is thoughts on a whiteboard at this point at the most.
If that story had not just come out about them hiring a game director, I would say that's not a game, and that was just a good old prank at E3 when they showed that off.
That was just them trying to boost
The
their stock
trolling.
prices.
It just
Didn't they-
boggles my mind.
didn't they
what
show
they're
it-
doing with this?
Didn't they show it there? Like maybe showed it one more
Twice.
time, and that was it.
Twice. So they showed it there, and then they showed it in another like more closed event.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly that one had like actual like gameplay and stuff, and everyone was very like, "Ooh," and that's kind of when then it went dark after
Well,
that.
that's also a cyberpunk world back then too.
Yeah.
So who the hell knows? And also, I remember them having like, join this monkey group or whatever it is, and you can like help us make the game or like
It was
sign up
something.
for this.
There was something crazy that they
Yeah.
did. Yeah. Yeah. This is something where Ubisoft will. It's going to be just like how it was back in the day when they never admitted that it was canceled to begin with the first time. They're just going to keep dragging us on and on and on. They're never going to announce anything, and then either it's going to show up one day or it's just going to completely just drop.
I'll say you'll see an announcement in like a quarterly earnings thing that they canceled it.
They'll never. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll ever formally announce that they've canceled this, just because I just feel at this point they can't. Like just because they can't go through that press.
You won't see a big press release, but it'll be in like a quarterly
Yep,
earnings meeting.
100%.
Yeah, someone will ask a question like that game has been shelved or that game is
Yeah.
on hiatus or
Someone needs to get on one of those
nonsense.
calls now and go, "You announced it 6 years ago. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
What is it? Is this like a new writer? Like, who is this person you've
You
hired?
guys going back to the drawing board?
You know, my first thought too was like when I saw lead writer, I was like, "What the fuck? I'm like, are you kidding me?" I mean, some people did make some logical comments, I guess, saying like, well, there's been probably plenty of writers and they've been writing stuff, but they haven't had that lead role to like really like, okay, yes, we're taking this, like making those decisions of, so they're probably, what it is they probably just have a skew of just a bunch of random shit all over the floor right now, and they don't know what they're doing with it. And that's why they need to get like, all right, we need to get some direction. And that's why, so it's not necessarily that they haven't been working on it or been,
it's three writers sitting on the floor in a circle with just paper scattered all around them.
But it's just like, it's that, I think finally they bring somebody like, okay, we need to take this direction, let's go. Like, I think so this may, who knows, this might be the kick they needed to get things going. Like maybe they thought, oh, our writers they get it under control, then they realized no, they don't.
Yeah. All right, next one. Dead Island 2. They had that 2018, I think it was 2017. They had a CGI trailer. Dead Island's known for their CGI trailers. They had another one, guy running down the boardwalk and all this madness happening.
I mean, Goat Simulator.
Yeah, just totally aped it. And like, are they doing it? No, that's
copied
Escape
it.
Simulator 3. There's one too.
3, yeah.
So like, I mean, I remember hearing rumblings recently that saying that they're going to announce something later this year, but that's kind of all it. Like those are two pieces of things.
So the day this podcast will post, hopefully, on Friday.
In theory.
Me and Art have been batting 1,000 in the last 2 episodes. GHQ Nordic is having their
you're right.
Their conference. They're having like a showcase.
Okay.
And that's who's Dead Island 2. So
that's right, because it was Deep Silver, right?
It was Deep Silver, and that's through GHQ
That's through
Nordic.
GHQ Nordic now. That's right.
So if it
does exist,
if it's a thing,
if it does exist, and because of the rumblings that have been kind of been brought up lately, it will be there. If it's not there, this game is dead. It is gone. Like, in my opinion, if it's not there, like, just because, like, I feel like, because, like, it's too coincidental that that's coming up and we're starting to hear rumblings of it again.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like that tends to happen out like when that kind of stuff starts going on.
That's good.
It'll be there, or it'll be at Xbox's 6-hour Gamescom stream.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ, that's yeah.
I feel like that's gonna be
over
much
4 days.
Steak, I look forward to the recap of that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Just take my path. Just read a blog post and find videos of the high notes.
Dude, I've learned unless it's like a showcase, I do not watch the Xbox anything anymore because what was that one time? Like it was like 3 hours long, but it was them like interviewing.
Wasn't it a Halo one talking to the developers?
Well, they were in there, but like there was others, but like it was like something where like they were really.
It was like X11 or something like X10 or something like that.
I don't remember what it was, but it was like
one of their Xbox Fan Fest type things.
Their FanFest stuff's like, I mean, that was like, they're not like giant announcements. They at least still show stuff. But this was something like, it was just like through Twitch. It was just like an online only thing. And like, yeah, they were jumping from developer to developer. And like in that 3 hours, they maybe showed like 20 minutes of actual games. Like most of it was just talking. And it was like, but no one was really prepared for that. Like they made it sound like it was going to be more of something else.
I gotcha. That's good. That's good deductive work there on Dead Island 2. I think you're right. Right now, game does not exist. Might change on Friday. Might change by the time you listen to this. But as of right now, I don't think that game exists. Next, I think the only Switch game I have on here because they don't announce shit. Well, I got two. I lied. I got the very next one's also Switch. Sports Story, the follow up to Golf Story. Yeah. I was a big fan of that game. The Golf Story. I think one of you guys played it.
I got to a certain point where I just couldn't get more into it.
Yeah, I played it for a while. I was like, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is like it's like the pseudo sequel to that,
right?
Because it has like all the different sports on there, as opposed to just golf. But it's from the same developer. They showed it at one of the Nintendo showcases at some point.
One of the indie.
Yeah.
I think it was back when it was still the Nindies.
So that's how long it was.
Might as well call it the Dundies.
And that's about the last time we've seen it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think that is a game because if it's not, what else is that team doing?
I can say that about most of Nintendo's, development teams right now. Like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah,
like
I'm not saying that's the only time I'm not going to use that statement here.
right, exactly. No, I agree with you. I mean, it's like what else would they be doing? Like, it's gonna be one of those games where like it's gonna have another big reveal, like when it's ready to go, and when it does, Shadow Drop.
Probably that makes sense to me.
Well, it's one of those things too. Like the studio, like put out their first game, indie darling. They're gonna do the sequel to it, which this, maybe not direct sequel, but evolution of it. Having multiple sports. Right. Like I said, if they're not doing that, what could they possibly be doing?
Yeah, it's got to still be real. It's when, who knows? But I have a good feeling it's gonna be one of those reveals, and then it comes out that day.
Yeah, it's like what's going on? Like I mean, like this, what is going on with that game?
So anytime Nintendo starting now has an indie world, it can show up in any one of those.
Keep looking.
It'll be the final reveal or the re-reveal, and then Shadow Drop.
All right. So I think this one is an obvious answer, but I want to more pick your brains on the current state of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, God, it sucks. So I can't even tell you like when though. Who knows? Like the fact that we haven't seen it in like probably what like 2 years now.
And it's
kind of crazy.
Even when they showed it, it was like I think they showed like volleyball and something else, but it was like really brief.
Oh,
it was super brief.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, we're working on this. Like,
Yeah.
or this is happening.
So this next game definitely exists. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2. But what state is it in right now? Like, is it mostly ready? Is it mostly not? Is it coming out next year?
Tell me when
Switch
the next iteration of Switch comes out, and I'll tell you when that game's coming out.
They said they're not putting anything out this year, right? I think that
Right.
Nintendo just said that.
You can't trust Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so full of shit.
I trust Nintendo on that.
Art has stock. Don't forget.
I don't. I sold that a long time ago. I sold that a long time ago. I trust them on that. If they were ambiguous about it, I would say or look for hardware around holiday time. But
Because like there was all those like everyone's like there's all those trademarks and stuff, and then up being the Splatoon 3 OLED Switch.
Right.
So yeah, no, that'll be the system for this holiday. I mean that's coming out soon. But no, I agree, and I still don't see Switch 2 next year. But like, because they're gonna do at least a year of advertising for it. You know what I mean?
And why would they?
I don't think they need to.
Why the hell would they make anything new
I don't
right now?
disagree, but like that's just the way they. I don't know. That's just the way they function, though. I mean, that's usually how they are, and there's no reason. Like Switch is still just like selling like crazy still to this
Right.
day. And I mean, even like with the OLED one now, like it's selling again like crazy. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like Switch 2 is 2024. Honestly, like that would kind of make sense to make that next jump graphically and stuff, all that kind of stuff. I don't think Breath of the Wild 2 could hold out that long though. That's the only thing. Like, I mean, can they? Yes, absolutely they can. But I think I see like. I mean, I just can't see I mean, obviously the fans will buy it whenever it comes out, but like I just see people going.
Listen, just
crazy
tide
to
the
out
fans
next
over
year.
with another slightly upgraded remake of an older Zelda and send them on their way.
Well, they still got Twilight Princess and Wind Waker to put on Switch.
There you go.
God damn it!
I know. They still got to put those on Switch.
So there's
That's
your
like, those are like the
there's
last
your,
like
there-
Wii U games.
There's
that
your
you
next
get
2
on
game.
there.
There's your next 2 years of Zelda games.
Yeah, right. Here to tie you over.
And then you're ready for Switch 2 and Breath of the Wild 2.
The one that makes me mad though is like it's like, okay, Nintendo, just stop saying like, because they said 2023, like just like last time they said 2022. Now they've said 2023. It's like, okay, if your intention is whenever that Switch 2 is coming out, don't put a fucking date. Just say, you know what I mean? It's coming, like it's still or whatever. Like I don't know.
But these Nintendo studios go dark for years and years and years. And all of a sudden, it's like, Mario Odyssey is here. It's going to be out in 6 months. So, it's
The real problem is they never needed to say anything with any kind of date or quarter or year or anything. They could have said Breath of the Wild 2 is in development.
I will say this is a very odd era for Nintendo with that. They usually don't do that. What they're doing now, like they don't usually delay games like this, like big time like this. Like I mean, there's like some like here like Twilight Princess that was delayed, but everyone had their speculation, and sure enough, it came out on the Wii. That was what because it already was going to come out so close to the Wii that it was everyone. That's what everyone was thinking, and then they announced the both versions. Like, oh, yep, that's what we figured. Okay, but like it's very rare for Nintendo to really to do like this much of a delay, like a big delay like this. Like, 'cause I mean, it was supposed to be 2020. Originally fall 2021. Like, so like we're already in we're already essentially going into a second year delay. You know what I mean? We're already into the second delay.
Right.
So like this is really odd for Nintendo. Like, and I mean, I don't know if it's on your list either, but like, because like you said, like it's in like doing like the whole in development thing. They got like Metroid. Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Okay.
That's not a game.
I didn't even bother with that one.
That's an idea.
That's not a game.
So I mean, that's the thing too. Like Metroid Prime 4, like they've never ever set a date ever. The only thing we've ever gotten was a title card for that, and they always said, and they did the whole that now in development. Like
Right.
that was all they did. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3 was the same way. They did that. They did a quick little teaser. They actually showed a little bit. Did a quick teaser, said in development, and then we didn't see it for 4 or 5 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, but that was like, I mean, that's common. We expect that out of Square. But like, but yeah, but it's like, why didn't they, with Breath of the Wild, like you could show stuff, but just keep saying still in development or whatever. Like,
Well, and the thing with that too is like they may have had plans to originally put it out in 2021, and that may have gotten bumped from due to COVID or
sure.
whatever talent shortages, whatever you want to call it, and then they may have it may have gotten to the point where like, hey, our next hardware iteration's around the corner, and that may have allowed them to be more ambitious with the game, and they may have go back to the drawing board on some things to take more advantage of that whatever the new hardware is going to be.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's like anyone who does a whole like, oh, Nintendo has this game's done. Nintendo's waiting for something. Like the Metroid Prime trilogy or whatever. That all that stuff is just so nonsense to me. I hate it because like Nintendo never changes the price of the game. It's like, yeah, let's just hold the game for no reason forever. You know what I mean? As opposed to start selling it now and sell it for $60 between now and forever.
Well,
like, that makes no goddamn sense.
And if they were going to do that, you hold it until like this coming year's holiday shopping cycle. You don't hold it multiple years and sit on it.
Right.
Exactly.
Because it becomes obsolete at that point because technology has grown those last 2 years.
Yeah, right.
On top of, not making that. If you put a Metroid Prime trilogy game out right now, it would sell like gangbusters. If you sell it out right before Metroid Prime 4 comes out,
You could
it would
put
still
that
sell.
out December 27th,
Yeah.
and it would sell like gangbusters.
100%.
That's why all that stuff.
100%.
That's why all that stuff so much nonsense to me.
Yeah.
Like oh, this game is done. There's waiting for like that. Like no, none of that stuff makes any sense to me.
And actually, I just thought about like I always bring up like holiday shopping cycle. None of that shit matters anymore.
No.
People buy games year round.
It doesn't matter.
Switch came out in March.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and also, I mean, look at these.
Holiday shopping cycle does not matter for hardware for sure.
Well, yeah, definitely not for hardware.
Because there's never enough at launch.
No.
Right. And I mean, and look at all the games that come out in the summer now. Like, it doesn't
In
matter.
February.
Yeah, yeah, right. February. Yeah, Jesus. February is our new holiday.
It's a good time to be a gamer. All right, next one. The Outer Worlds 2. They announced it at I forget which conference it was, but they announced it. But this was also before like Bethesda and all those other things got all put together, or shortly thereafter. One of the two.
It was like right as they announced.
Yeah,
it, pretty much.
So like, a lot of people are saying like, all right, well, this is the team that made Fallout New Vegas.
Yes.
And a lot of people are talking about making New Vegas again. Outer Worlds 2 has not been seen again since the first one, and it was just a CG trailer, and that was it. So is this game still a game, or is this going to be, or are they just working on this one, waiting for something, at some point, all these Microsoft acquisitions need to get together and start working together on something. So like,
they need to work together on like a schedule of when they're actually going to put shit out.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So is this still in development as previously scheduled, or has been changed due to current acquisitions?
The schedule might have changed a little, but it's still in development. It's still being worked on. I mean, the Outer Worlds was pretty highly praised. I mean, everyone loved it.
You have to get past that's for the first 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean,
Just fetch quests.
Yeah, a lot of people loved it. They loved the universe. They loved the world and everything. And I mean, I remember this. I remember the trailer. The trailer was hilarious.
Yeah.
And so I still think it's definitely a game. I think it's still definitely coming. I just wonder if Microsoft is like kind of. I wonder if they're almost splitting up the team in a way. Like that's why it's being a little slower, so they can kind of work on the next Fallout, like spin-off Fallout. Obviously not, because I mean Todd Haynes already said Fallout 5 is ways away,
right?
So which is fine. But I mean, we can get that New Vegas 2 or whatever that New Vegas is.
Yeah, I mean, with this many studios now, they can change the rotation of how those games come out. It's not like fantasy RPG, then
Racing game.
No, I'm talking about like the Bethesda series of games, where it's just like you got Starfield coming out, and the next one is going to be Elder Scrolls, the next one's going to be Fallout. Like that doesn't have to be just like that. It may not from Bethesda Studios, proper, but one of those other studios could do a spin-off one, or or something different, as opposed to the one of those mainline ones, which I think makes sense to me.
I mean, part of with Microsoft acquiring all these studios, like they've been saying all along, like we're bringing them on to work on their projects.
Right.
So I mean, it all comes down to what if we're to believe that, which
You're right.
some games need to come out before I have evidence to believe that. But if you're to believe that, I would think they'd want to work on their own IP over a new Fallout spinoff. But Fallout, I think, still carries way more cachet and generate more buzz than another Outer Worlds game.
And games still need to be funded.
Yeah.
So like switching off between like passion projects and money projects is not uncommon.
Oh, come on. There's Microsoft money now. Everyone can just do what they want.
Yeah, that's working out great.
Well, what Microsoft should do is take advantage of a studio that they do have now in Exile, and they should remake Fallout 1 and 2. Because Wasteland 3 is basically an upgraded version of those, and Wasteland 3 is phenomenal. So I think, there's a moneymaker right there in terms of like, or make a new Fallout with that old, hey, you're a fan of the old Fallout games? Check out In Exile's brand new Fallout game.
I mean,
Fallout 2.5.
I have a feeling, I think In Exile would be all for that.
At this point, I think if you're going to remake Fallout 1 and 2, you remake them more in the style of the modern Fallout games.
Ooh. I think Fallout is now different in the zeitgeist of like, if someone says Fallout, they think of 3, they think of 4, how those games play. They don't think of the first 2.
So maybe a spin-off game still for In Exile. I mean, I could see. I mean, I don't deny. I think they're probably most likely working on Wasteland 4. I mean, let's be honest. But I could see them taking over for that franchise. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Outer Worlds. I think the Outer Worlds are.
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds, thank you. Outer Worlds 2. I think it's still coming. I don't know when, but it's coming.
I agree. I think
it's a game. I think how soon we see anything from it. It all depends on what direction the masters at Microsoft are pushing Obsidian.
Gotcha.
Depends what comes out in early 2023 for Xbox. If they start getting these fucking games out,
it's all gonna get pushed to 2024.
Well, guys, you're all jumping the gun here.
It's all a big pyramid scheme within Xbox these development teams.
All right, so this one's just like a whatever one. After the success of Half-Life Alyx, do you think that a proper mainline Half-Life is being developed?
No.
I agree.
I just saw something the other day. They're working on porting Half-Life 2 to VR.
God, that'd be amazing.
That'd
be incredible.
That would be really cool.
And also Alyx, I think they're working on an Alyx 2 as well, from what I've heard. So a sequel now to the VR, more VR. Which, come on, PSVR 2.
Honestly, yeah, I was thinking that too. It was like,
oh, come on.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if me adopting another VR headset in my house is not going to be easy. However, Alyx, it would definitely get me on board. I think I'm back to my. I skipped my whole like 5 game rule for this generation of games because I don't know, it was COVID and I was bored.
Yeah.
So I think I'm back on that with PSVR.
I'll say not long ago there was a sale on Alyx on Steam. It was like half price. It was like $30 or something, maybe 20 something. I was thinking about buying it because you can play it with the Quest 2, connect to your computer.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I bought it or not though.
Oh, whoa!
Well, check it and keep an eye on because that does not go on sale often.
It might have been like their summer sale or
probably.
spring sale or something.
I'm sure. Yeah.
All right, this next group of games. I want to see if you guys know what the theme is. All right, first one is Avowed, Xbox game from
Obsidian.
Thank you. Another Obsidian game.
Yep.
They were supposed to show it, didn't show it. We still pretty much just have that original trailer. Looks kind of Dragon Questy, not Dragon Quest, Dragon Age-y.
Dragon Age, yeah.
I don't know. Does Avowed exist?
Yeah. Because the time when Xbox did some of these trailers, especially like that one, I feel like that was back when they had these studios. Everyone's giving them shit. You know, they've got no games, they got nothing coming and stuff like that. So I feel like they showed, And like, I mean, Phil addressed that like in this with the showcase this time. Like, hey,
Right.
everything that you see at our quote unquote E3 showcase is coming out in the next 12 months, because the one before that and like their prior showcases have been like, oh, here's stuff coming. We don't know when.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
you don't know when.
Plus now it's like we have 900 studios.
Right. What are we doing with these?
Here's what they're all working on.
Yeah. So like
Sometime this decade you'll see it.
yeah, so I think the fact that I think that like Obsidian was just, they were probably like Obsidian, like please like just put something together for us, like, you know what I mean? I think it was an early concept idea. It may not be avowed when it comes out.
Okay.
It could potentially change, or it could like Avowed could be like the subtitle, like gonna be somewhere in there, like, but might not be just the direct name anymore for it. But yeah, I think it exists. It's just a matter of when. Again, when.
Is this basically the same story as Fable, which is my next one?
100%,
Well,
same thing.
Here's my thought on this. We just talked about this with the Outer Worlds. We mentioned some kind of Fallout spinoff. I don't think there's any way this team is working on 3 games simultaneously. At most, they're working on 2. I think they're definitely working on the Outer Worlds. Yes, that's
Yes.
the other one.
Yeah.
The question is whether
Outer Wilds.
do you think they're working on Avowed, or do you think they're working on a Fallout spinoff? I think that's what it comes down to, is if you think whether or not this is a game. I think they're more likely to work on a Fallout spinoff. So I'm going to say no.
All right.
Well, I mean, especially, I would say, yeah, because you got Outer Worlds, which is kind of established, and then they are coming out with that game, supposed to be later this year, that
Pentiment.
Pentiment, which is more like seems like a fun, more fun project or whatever team. I'm guessing that's probably more like the Grounded teams working on that.
Yeah.
Because I always forget that City did Grounded, and they're still. I mean, that's still.
It's still being supported, but it just
very
hit
support-
1.0.
Yeah. So I mean, Obsidian's doing a lot like right now. So it's like anytime. So I think all their shit is in development. You just who knows when. Like I don't know what their schedule's kind of looking like. And also too, I mean, they might have little teams working at a time on each one, and then just kind of seeing like, okay, well, which one's starting to take off more? Like, okay, now let's push that one forward, and then kind of go from there. So I don't know.
What about State of Decay 3?
Oh God, yeah, we haven't seen anything on
Exactly.
We haven't seen gameplay on that.
Another.
That's coming. That's another one too early.
That's one I
reveal.
feel like I don't know if State of Decay. How big is State of Decay?
Is
it really that popular?
It's pretty big.
Wait, is it really big, or is it big for an Xbox first party title?
Also, like, has Undead Labs done anything else but these games?
No.
Okay.
I'm not trying to throw
don't
shade on
think so.
Xbox here when I
Oh,
say
no,
that, but like,
I get it. No,
people talk about
100%.
how huge like some of their IPs are, and like, yes, for Xbox, that's a huge
Yeah.
IP. In the grand scheme of things,
Well, I think the main thing with State of Decay, like especially with State of Decay 2, it was very highly streamed. So I think that's kind of where it kind of took off. And so again, I'm not like we're not talking like God of War like numbers,
Right.
Last of Us, like we're not talking like numbers like that. So yes, big for Xbox, yeah, but I think also it's one of those games that people love to stream and people love watching people stream. Okay. So like that's how State of Decay 2, the first one, that's why the second one came out, was because of the way because that first one, no one knew about that first one until it took over on Twitch. Like, and then it like, oh, look at this. So then they made the second one, and that was pretty big, and it was very highly rated and everything. So I think with a lot of bugs, but highly rated. So I still think it's coming. It's just a matter, again.
So I mean, yeah, I guess the question is like, does it exist in a form where like, do you think they would be able to put together like a gameplay trailer right now for this thing, or is it still not? Is it still too far away for that?
If they were doing some kind of a showcase in the next few months, I would not be surprised if that popped up, because I could see that being. I could also see that being kind of a quick release after reveal, because they don't feel like they need to. Everyone knows what State of Decay is like known now enough to where they don't necessarily need to like, hey, here's a tiny little gameplay, and then we're gonna keep showing you bits and bits and bits. I feel like they could show it and be like, yeah, and it's coming out in 3-4 months. Like I could see that potentially with this one.
Okay.
yeah, I think it is a game that like in the same vein, like a sequel is I think is a lot easier to get out there than a new IP.
Yeah,
because like theoretically they could work in the same engine, do some upgrades, add some new gameplay features, and put out a sequel.
Yeah,
they don't have to build it from the ground up.
Yeah, I don't know how different it's going to be outside of just like the graphical boost and a few quality of life improvements.
That's pretty much it. I mean, that's pretty much what it'll be.
All right, last one for this group is Everwild.
What's Everwild?
No, no. That game does not.
You made that up.
Another Xbox game.
It's rare. It doesn't
Rare.
exist. It's the first rare first party game in forever, and it's not. No. No.
Oh no, it was a different team. One different Xbox team working on Perfect Dark.
Yes,
Yeah, the initiative.
the initiative. We'll get to that one in a minute.
I didn't know this was a real game until we just had this conversation.
So in Rare's defense, they have shown it twice. They showed it once. It was just CG, and then they showed it again CG, but like kind of different. So like everyone was speculating gameplay because of the way it was shown. Like the second time, it was the re-reveal of it, like 3 years after the first reveal. I want to say, and I think it's been another 2 to 3 years since we've seen it again.
Yeah,
it's rare. No,
I don't think it's a thing. I think that's one of those.
They still
things.
make a ton of money off of Sea of Thieves.
They're fine, but I don't think that's a game.
I think
anymore.
you made that game up. You guys are conspiring against
So
me.
those 4 games were all showed at the Series X showcase event.
Yeah.
So those were ones that were like part of like the hype, to get hype pieces for the Series X. And I don't think we have nothing more than CG trailers for all of them for 2.5 years ago.
So yeah, I think that was them responding though to the whole we have no games. Like, well,
What, Mike? No Hellblade 2?
This is coming.
Hellblade 2 exists. I don't even hear it. I'm not even.
Hey, we've seen gameplay.
Yeah.
Wasn't that gameplay before it was announced it was going to be in Unreal Engine 5?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
There's another Xbox game, but a little bit different. Contraband. There's a co-op heist game that they showed. Again, it was a CG trailer.
This is by Avalanche Studios, right?
Yes.
The Avalanche Studios. It
Yes,
exists.
yes.
Oh, it totally exists.
I think so too. I think the only reason I put this on here is just because it was one of those. There's a bunch of E3 games that are coming up here from like last year that we haven't seen anything since. That's one of them.
I think everyone was anticipating that showed back because, like, I think the trademark or something went through right before their showcase, the E3 showcase,
okay.
and so everyone thought it was going to be more reveal, and they didn't. But again, that means it's not coming out in the next 12 months. That's the only thing, and which doesn't surprise me, just because they didn't show anything before either.
Yeah.
But being Avalanche, it's coming.
I agree. All right, let's turn this over to the PlayStation side of things. I don't know if this is necessarily just a PlayStation game, but it was actually showed at a PlayStation. I think this one was showed at the PlayStation 5 showcase event. Pragmata from Capcom. Remember that one? It was like a city and the space guy, and there's a big ball in the sky. The thing was like, it looked like it was sucking things up, and then you were into space. Looked crazy. Don't know what it is, but that's literally all we've seen of it.
Capcom does stuff other than Resident Evil and Street Fighter?
Exoprimal. Don't forget about Exoprimal.
What?
Stop. Just stop. We're not talking about that game.
So
it makes me mad. Just give me fucking Dino Crisis. I want to say yes because again, it's another thing that Capcom. Their batshit crazy ideas, even they seem batshit crazy, they get it out there.
Ultimately it ends up coming out.
Regardless, it's like, we want to do this, we're doing it. Like, so I want to say yes, but at the same time, Resident Evil, Street Fighter, and Monster Hunter is just taking off right now. Like
I'll say they're printing money with Resident Evil remakes.
Oh my god, like I said, Monster Hunter is just on a whole nother level again. And then I mean the hype, the amount of I still can't believe this game is not coming out this year. The amount of shit they're showing off for Street Fighter 6, it looks so done and ready to go.
Every time they show a new character, I'm like, that looks great.
It looks amazing. And then people get to play it at events.
Yeah.
And everyone says it runs fantastic. So I feel like it's like, not even the Nintendo thing, I feel like it's done.
Yeah.
But it's like, it just boggles my mind that it's not coming out this year with the way they're hyping it up and going crazy for it. But like, between all that, like, I just feel like,
this feels like GameCube era Capcom. They're like, we're gonna announce those games, like, Piano 3 and Killer 7, and ultimately they all came out. Like, and it was just like, it just feels like that. But
they got their passion projects that they still want to release, but they know what prints money, so they just focus on that.
I think so. I think that's where I'm at with it. I think it's a real game. I don't know when it's gonna come out. I don't know what the hell it is. But I feel like I think it's going to happen.
I want to say, though, I think they did announce a delay to 2023, like early this year. So or something. So I want to say it has been acknowledged at least at one point this year,
Okay.
at least once.
All right. We scoffed at this last time, but Abandoned. Is Abandoned an actual game?
Pyramid scheme.
No,
That is straight up like
no.
a Ponzi scheme, like no doubt about it.
It's absurd. It is absolutely absurd.
This guy's conned Sony out of money. I'm sure he's conned some other investors out of money.
No.
They had
100%.
a whole like, they announced the game on a blog post, like a PS blog post, which is like
Oh, it's like a big deal.
Yeah, it's like a
I
big
know.
deal.
I know.
Well, then they said like Sony is like supporting the development of this game
Yes.
or whatever, and
Supposedly they're not. I mean, they can't be
They've been
anymore.
conned in a very public way.
Yeah, I mean,
I think so too.
that GameSpot article, like a couple months ago, like where they went. I mean, I don't read much GameSpot anymore, but man, I read that entire article. It was long as hell, but it was so interesting. Like them, like digging into it and like talking to people that actually are like involved in this secret society of for feedback and all this kind of stuff, and like just the stuff. It's just like it makes it's like a cult.
And
It's bizarre.
like the ways he went to them for money was always
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
always weird. Like it's always like a weird circumstance. Like, hey, we're just on the verge of just doing this, or like, hey, we're trying to put together like, and it's just like they keep saying like, hey, we're almost there. We need a little bit more, and then nothing materializes. Yeah.
Well, months ago, the guy who's behind this did an interview with Colin Moriarty, and he could not give a straight answer to everything. He was confused trying to answer questions. Like he seemed like he was full of crap.
Yeah, it's that ultimately. I hope one day that story is written in full because I am so intrigued. I couldn't give less of a shit about what the game is. I'm more interested in what the story is around
The actual
this
game itself.
quote unquote development
Yeah.
of this game.
Well, the fact that the reveal was delayed for weeks, and then it was a 5-second clip,
Yeah, it was
and it was
foot.
nothing.
There's a foot going
nothing.
across the screen.
A 5-second clip that didn't involve you installing an app on your PlayStation. To view
And they
it.
have like, and when you download the app, because
That's how you get
because
viruses.
of course I did it.
How
There's
you get
like,
viruses.
there's all kinds of like, there's like they have like it's like an old school, it's like an old school like a media player that has like all of these
Right.
like all these little boxes
Yep.
that ultimately should have been filled with like different things, and
Right.
nothing else ever filled up. It was
Yep.
just that 1 5-second little foot.
Was it
And
Winamp?
that was it.
If it's not Winamp, I'm not interested.
I don't think it was.
So it really kicks the llama's ass.
All right, next one. I think this one's super interesting because it recently went through like the IGN first, and all of a sudden then it said like we're on an indefinite delay, 6 days in Fallujah. So do you guys know about the history of that game?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, okay, I do. I'm trying to think of what
it is a game that I think may have even been funded by the U.S. Army that talks about, it tells a story of Iraqi war veteran or Iraqi war fighters
Got it.
in Fallujah
Yep.
during this time period. And the problem is like we may not have been the good guys in that situation, but this game definitely makes us look like the good guys in the situation. That's a long story short. So like IGN did for IGN first. He had like a bunch of gameplay
That's
and
right.
interviews and things like that. And all of a sudden, like that's when the backlash came up, and they came up with we're gonna delay this game indefinitely sometime earlier this year. So that game was in development for a long time before that time. That game was debuted years before that IGN first. Does this game exist?
It exists. I'm not sure they're ever going to find a publisher for it.
It'll be like what was that one game? Postal 3,
Oh Jesus!
where like no one wanted to publish it. and
Yeah.
they finally just like threw it out there on the internet.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel like this one's gonna roll. Where like the developers are eventually gonna hit a point where just like fuck it, we just want people to play it.
I mean, it's
Here.
been in development for years and years and years and years.
If I'm not mistaken, I mean,
It's been in development since 2009.
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, I believe like what they showed though, like it looked good. It looked like it played well. Like I mean, like so it looked like a pretty solid like in terms of like gameplay and stuff. It looked pretty solid.
Right. Yeah. The questions weren't with what was
It was the story. So,
it was the
right.
story
It was
and
like,
the tone
yeah,
and
right.
who's paying for this type of. It was the situation.
Sure.
So
Like,
going
yeah.
back to my statement, apparently they have a publisher who I've
Okay.
never heard of.
Oh,
Well,
Victura?
nope.
nope.
The release date on Steam still says to be announced.
So I don't know, man.
I see that. Yeah, I see it kind of going.
I can see it being released on Steam.
Yeah.
I don't see it ever getting released on like a home console.
No, it's a lot more obstacles to jump for that.
All right, this one is near and dear to my heart. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. We saw in the DC Fandom early last year.
Yeah, last year.
They showed the first little bits. They had a little bit. It looks like gameplay, but it looks like the same kind of gameplay that we saw with. Oh my God, what did we see that gameplay with? Whatever it was, but it didn't look like actual gameplay. It looked like them filming someone playing a build of something on a PC or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
right.
It didn't look like there was no HUD, there was no things like that. And that's it. That's the last we've heard of it.
Here's the real question.
Oh God,
what kind of tax write-off can Discovery get by canceling this?
Big one. Big old one.
It's too late. It's too late to start talking about the problems with Discovery and DC and HBO and all that nonsense.
That's all podcast in itself.
Never mind, I'm not getting into it. I'll get into it when we finish here because I'm sure Steak has a ton to say about this. I know he has. I've seen him on Twitter. I know he has a ton to say about it.
I am so furious.
Can they fix parental controls for HBO shit? That's the real question.
Well, I'm not gonna have to worry about that soon. So.
Good.
No, not good.
Could be a whole new app again.
Suicide Squad.
Anyways,
Kill the Justice League.
yes, Suicide. Let's get back. Oh man, I want to say yes because it's Rocksteady. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I just feel like because even like the stuff they showed, like even being like CG, like I know it's like just pure CG and stuff. I'm just like, okay, cool, but like, is this gonna translate well into a game? Necessarily, you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
How dependent are we going to be on multiplayer too?
Right,
and shit
because
like that.
everyone was talking how it's gonna be like live serve. It's like, okay, are we talking Avengers here? Because if we're talking Avengers here, no, thank you.
Live service has jumped the shark. I
Live
think.
service is become a dirty word.
It's awful. But like, I don't know. It's just like it's one of those things where it's just like because I personally I love the Suicide comics. I love the most recent James Gunn movie. I love the concept of Suicide Squad. Again, I just don't know if that's going to translate into a game really well either, though. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I need to see it.
I think best case scenario, and I don't think it's even possible with the way the game is being put together, is Guardians of the Galaxy game, the most recent one.
Oh,
100%. But with a way to like switch characters,
yes,
maybe
100%.
But I keeping up that banter in like an open world too seems impossible. I thought it was impossible for Guardians of the Galaxy, who did pull it off.
Yeah,
I said both this and Gotham Knights. I am just so worried about this one even more so. I think this is a game. I just don't think it's a good game right now.
I was gonna say, I think it'll be a game at some point. I can't say it'll be good though.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate because the idea of fighting against the characters that you've played as in every video game you've ever been in is super interesting.
100%. Like if this was if this is one of those DC animated movies,
yeah.
I'd be all over it. I'd be like, hell yeah, I need to watch this. That, and again, like I don't know. I just don't. Yeah, that's the thing. Translating into a game, I don't know.
A super side note: have you watched the Harley Quinn cartoon yet?
I started it,
dude. It's so good.
It's so good. Good. I got through
before it goes
one.
away.
I know.
No, it sounds like it's safe.
We'll see. I'm under the impression nothing's safe.
Well, yeah. I agree.
I just finished the first season.
It's so good.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
I started watching it like a while ago, and then I was watching it one day, and like my kid comes tearing around the corner. I'm like, nope.
It's just violent. There's swearing, but it's.
I turned it off, and I've never turned it back on since then. But that's just because I don't sit and watch TV often.
Sure. Oh yeah. Oh, that first episode.
I have the Office playing for background noise while I'm dicking around on my phone.
Yeah.
one of my favorites. Like King Shark is very different in this than he is in the Suicide Squad movie, the most recent one. He's like a computer nerd, but he's also like a shark.
Yeah.
And at one point, he joins a group with Harley. And Harley sends him in to do like some hacking work, and he's like, and King Shark is like, man, I'm so happy that someone respects me for doing these, actually respects me for who I am and what I can do, and like this is the technical aspect of what I can do. And at that as he finishes the sentence, he bites someone's head off. And it's just, it's so good, it's so good.
Oh, that cartoon is genius.
Oh, it's so very good. All right. All right. This section is remakes. We have some new news on this one recently. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic remake. I think that game did exist, and now it doesn't exist.
100%.
Because it sounds like they're going back to the drawing board on this one.
But do you think it will exist anytime in the near future?
No.
There's like 14 Star Wars projects and going on right now for one.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I think there's like it's one of those things where I almost feel like there's no coming back from this now.
Yeah.
With this, like I think this kind of destroyed because this is going to destroy everyone's like hype for it too. Like in a way, like
Plus, from look at it from a business perspective, they already put a bunch of time and resources into this, and apparently it wasn't good enough. Do you think this game will make enough money to put all the time and resources and then some into it to make it a good game and still turn a profit?
Probably into a new developer.
Right.
well, that's the thing. Because I mean, basically, however many million they already spent on this,
Right.
down the drain.
Right, yeah.
Already down the drain.
And
completely.
what's like sad about the whole thing is like the development team thought they were doing good, and then they showed it to Lucas, whatever it is, and they were like, no.
So it was like I kind of wanted to get canceled or officially move on to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because I kind of want to, because then a developer will leak what they were doing with this. Because I do want to see what they were doing with this. I'm curious because it sounds like they were so super confident. Aspire. They're the ones that have done like all the remasters of all the old ones and stuff.
But like, but that's very different.
But it's
Like,
very
yeah,
different
yeah.
than actually making a game. Yeah. But still though, like, because from the articles, it sounds like they were so confident and like they couldn't wait to show off what they've been doing. So to me, it's almost like, okay, I do want to see that though.
I forgot who.
I'm curious.
That's going to be so demoralizing.
I think this was on. I feel like this was on one of the Easy Allies podcasts. And I think this makes a lot of sense. Is they're talking about like, all right, they had a meeting 6 months ago. Someone from Lucas, whatever, said like, here's a creative direction I would like you to explore and try and check this out. And the game director's like, no. They didn't say that in the meeting, but over the last 6 months, didn't take that note and didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And then showed this new thing, and they're like, show this new build, and then the whoever it was at Lucas was like, hey, 6 months ago we told you to do this, get the hell out and try again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I think that one is in huge trouble.
Yeah.
Speaking of huge trouble, Prince of Persia remake.
Oh,
That game was supposed to come out a year and a half ago.
No.
with everything that's going on at Ubisoft right now, no way.
Totally
There's
agree.
no fucking way.
I don't think Ubisoft has any idea what they're doing at this point.
No. I would not be surprised if they get bought out soon by someone. Or like merge with someone or something.
Yeah.
Because it seems like things are just going to hell over there. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like almost that they were. I mean, okay, a year and a half. It's not like, oh, we're gonna fix some bugs and up-res some whatever. I don't know. I don't make games,
Yeah, it looked terrible.
but it looks like absolute shit, and which is crazy. Like this one and like the Star Wars games, like those games are done. Like right, like those assets are done. Just like when they redid the Crash Bandicoot trilogy, like those things were done, and they just made them way better, and just like
That's all you had to do.
God, just give it the Last of Us treatment.
So, like, those things are just so mind-boggling to me that if you're going to fumble it that much to the point where they're like, scrap this, start from scratch. Because it sounds like Prince of Persia is in the same boat. It sounds like they
100%.
just, we're going to scrap this thing, take it down to the studs, rebuild it, and try again. I don't see Ubisoft doing that anymore.
No, at this point, why even do a remake of? Just create a new Prince of Persia.
I totally agree.
Just a whole brand new.
Yeah.
Start restructure with what you were working with, and just come up with a new story and everything like that, and just make it a brand new Prince of Persia at this point. Because it's like, what's the point of doing delaying a remake like that? Just make a new one.
But what if what they were doing so far just isn't good?
Oh, I agree. I hear you, but I don't.
Bad games
disagree.
come out all the time.
Like not even like it's tied to. It's bad because it's tied to this old game. Like it's just bad.
Well, that's what I mean. Graphically, I mean that's
It was.
it was just bad. I mean, it was terrible. Like
I mean,
it was so bad.
What was nice about, the original Prince of Persia game was like, I feel like, it was like the fluidity of the movement and those different, and like the worlds themselves were like the huge environmental puzzles you were doing, acrobatically figuring those things out to get to wherever you needed to go. I feel like that's one of those things that it's like, I don't know how you would mess that up, because it's literally the same thing. Like the puzzles are in the same direction, you just changed the way it looks, and they didn't really, the way it looked was bad. But to answer your question, like, I don't know, bad games come out all the time. So there's got to be a reason why this is just so delayed. Someone's just like...
Right, but bad games come all the time. But if it's a bad game, is it worth pouring more resources in it to finish it, or you just cut your losses and move on?
Games get released to die all the time. I don't know. I mean, it's one.
Look at Battlefield 2042.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those things too, where like even if it's like if it's kind of bad, like they still, I mean, especially something like a Prince of Persia title, they'll release it because people will buy it. There will be people buying it. You know what I mean? Like even if it's not great, it's because of the name. People will buy it to recover some of those back. But I mean,
it's one of those things. Like I wonder, and I'm sure these big huge companies all have studies on it, but like someone has to have studied the impact of like if we release a shit game, what impact will it have on sales of other future games from our company?
Ubisoft can look at their own catalog and figure that out.
Right.
So I don't know.
So many bad games. But then they got, franchises that are good and sell, and they don't do anything else with them, like Splinter Cell.
All right, we're here now. Perfect Dark. Does Perfect Dark exist?
Oh my god!
I said
it's an N64 game. Yeah, it came out like 30 years ago.
Does the quadruple A initiative game?
They got to be doing something, Perfect right? Dark.
I don't know. They just let the creative director go sometime recently.
That's because Phil Spencer went over there and found out that they were just playing beer pong all day and not actually working.
Yeah. No, it has to be a game.
I think it has to be just because if that studio's not doing that, what are they doing?
I mean, it's a ton of money into
the studio that they got a bunch of big name people to come into and
that was their big time original studio,
right?
Not an acquisition.
No, this
is
new
studio,
big one. I mean, there was that image of Phil standing there playing something where everyone was trying to zoom in on the reflection of his glasses to figure out what it was. I mean, I think it does exist. It's just a matter of, but it's also to the point where it's like, okay, it's perfect. You're trying to revitalize Perfect Dark. It's like
you're also trying to revitalize the Xbox first party,
right? So it's like you don't want to release shit. Like you don't want to repeat a Perfect Dark 0 on the 360, right? But I don't know. It's really hard to say.
It may be completely unrelated, but I think it's kind of telling how the Xbox went this route of like, okay, we're gonna get first party games. We're gonna buy these smaller studios and let them give them the resources to go nuts, and we're gonna build this quadruple A studio. And they did all that, and nothing's been produced. And now Xbox has bought Bethesda, and they're trying to buy Activision. I think that's very telling. Like maybe they're realizing you can't just create an IP and go. It's not a quick process, which you'd think they'd known from their own previous, first party studios.
Microsoft Studios has been running for a long time.
They have, but I mean, it looks to me like they vastly underestimated the turnaround time from acquisition and starting development to release.
I think that's a big part of it. I think that's a huge part of it right there. Is that they got all these studios and everything like that, and they're like, oh yeah, let's start like blah blah blah. But then it's just like, oh well maybe we shouldn't have said this yet.
We announced all these studios and
Shit.
We don't have much to release from them on the horizon. We need something to release now.
Yeah,
let's go start dropping the billions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Perfect Dark is in trouble. Like scale-bound trouble.
If Perfect Dark's in trouble, I think that whole studio's in trouble.
100%. Why would you have this massive studio if they're not making a game?
If that game does not come out, that studio goes under.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just 100%.
And that's the other thing, too. It's not going to surprise me when somewhere in the near future here, like piggybacking on what I just said, like it's not going to surprise me when Microsoft starts closing some of these studios because you can't just keep throwing money in every direction. No. If these studios aren't producing, they're going to get closed and people are going to get reassigned or let go.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, and that's the thing too. I mean, but Xbox Studios they got to figure this out. They really do. Because, I mean, 343 Industries is just
Halo
not cutting. I mean, Halo Infinite was doing well, but not so much anymore. Like people have fallen off of that. We still got the Coalition. I mean, Gear 6 has got to be coming, right? I mean, soon. I would think.
5 came out.
Well, that was
4 years ago.
That was right before the year before the Series X, wasn't it?
Correct.
So 3 years,
3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they got to be due at some point soon.
Maybe next fall. Maybe.
I'll say, yeah, I think it's at least not until next year because they weren't part of that.
Well, they weren't part, right. So
saying
that could be like
this year.
the big fall game though. Like
Yeah, that makes
essentially
sense.
still.
Yeah, what I don't think I verbalized this when we were talking about their showcase. The next 12 months completely misses like the biggest game season, which is like they have nothing for this holiday season.
Right.
They have Game Pass.
And that showcase excluded next holiday season because it wasn't
Right.
It was
right. So we don't know anything about next
So
holiday.
yeah, I think that's kind of my thought about this is like maybe they are getting to a point where like they're ramping to a point. If they can do that if they're gonna do that 12-month thing every E3, which I think would be okay.
Yeah.
I think that could be like a banger showcase next year if they're showing all stuff coming out in holiday next year. If any of this stuff actually starts bearing fruit.
Yeah, because I mean that'd be kind of nice. I mean, because you got the stuff that'll be a little bit further out, like in terms of like spring and stuff. But
Yeah.
it would be nice to be like a surprise, like, oh hey, here's the first reveal of Gears 6, and oh yeah, that's coming out in November.
Beta starts next month.
Like yeah, right, exactly. I mean, I could see that something like that potentially happening. I mean, and also with some of these games we discussed today, I can see that potentially happening.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I mean, realistically, that Series X showcase, yeah, that was 2 years ago now, roughly. Where some of these we haven't seen since. So it's like, okay, well, if those were just starting development 2 years ago, yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense that like next year would be the first time we really see a true like gameplay and what's going on with it. Like 3 years after development, like, all right, it's finally in a state of play where we have a vertical slice that's willing to be shown and stuff. I mean, I don't know.
I also, with all the Xbox stuff, part of me wonders if with all the resource shortages impacting getting this generation consoles out there. I mean, Xbox, every time they say they're doing great selling their series consoles, but I almost wonder if maybe they told their studios like, hey, pump the brakes a little bit, we got some time until we have the hardware we want out there.
That's very well possible.
Yeah, it is so up. I mean, the COVID years have changed the way that everything. So this notwithstanding. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, because think about it, like, because kind of switch gears a little bit here. I mean, like PlayStation. I mean, after this year, next year, what do we know? Spider-Man 2 next year.
Spider-Man
That's it.
2 next year, and Wolverine.
That's
maybe
Wolverine's 2025.
maybe.
The earliest.
I'm talking about just like showing it. I'm talking
well,
about. We're talking
maybe
about coming
they'll show
out.
it, but coming out. So they said Spider-Man 2023. That's the only thing we know first party from them.
Yeah.
Even like so that's another thing too. Like all their studios. Yeah, they've come out with stuff here and there and stuff like that. But even this year's been kind of. We had big ones. We had Horizon. We got God of War coming, and we had Gran Turismo. But like, there still wasn't a ton. There wasn't that much.
Yeah,
and even next year, there's still not that much as of right now.
Yeah, I always feel like we had if we were maybe that's what we do next time. Maybe we run down like the Sony's first party studios, and we haven't done that in a while. Just like what are they working on? Because we really don't know. Because even after like all the stuff here,
Did we do that not that long ago?
I think we did it.
Like last year, I think.
Last year.
honestly.
But we also, Sony has done like the September conference last year, I think. So maybe that's happening again.
Yeah, those rumblings are out there again of them doing some kind of showcase again soon.
Who knows?
Hopefully not a state of play.
Yeah, hopefully showcase.
Actually, do like a showcase.
The last state of play was good though.
Yeah, but it was all third party.
I know it made me.
So
It opened my heart again.
Yeah.
Just to be crushed again. All right. Last two I got, and these are very hypothetical. All right. First one's for Art.
Yo.
They talked about it at some point.
Yo.
Do you think a new Time Splitters game is currently existing?
No.
Do you think it's in any state of pre-production or just nothing?
No, I don't think anyone's doing anything with that. I think that's...
Even though they made a big deal, like we acquired the Time Splitters IP.
Yeah. I think that's more of a cult classic than a mainstream thing that they're going to put a lot of resources and hype behind.
It's always on sale on Xbox backward compatible.
Dirt cheap too.
Always at
like
so cheap.
$2-3.
I have a GameCube copy of 2, and I bought it again on the Xbox just in case.
I think I bought that on Xbox, and it's rough.
Digital's like $3.
Old FPS syndrome. It's rough.
Well, I was gonna say, and also too, like, it's been so. It's got another one of those where it's like it's been so long. It was so good at the time,
Right.
Yeah,
can you get that magic back like again? Like, I don't know.
If they announced Time Splitters 4 at a conference, it would pop.
Oh, people go ape shit.
But
Absolutely.
would anybody else care? Like, it's like the people who are in it
Yeah,
know it, and
right.
people
was
people
saying-
who are in it over for. I mean, when did Future Perfect come out?
Oh my god.
I don't know. I know those games were hot when I was still in high school, like early college. So
I mean, all the people.
2002.
Yeah, I was in high school. So yeah,
All the people who were born after that are playing, Fortnite now. And,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, no,
Right.
all the people they have. If you ask them what Time Splitters is, I bet they have
No idea.
No idea. Anyone
No idea.
under the age of 15 probably has no idea what
Yeah.
the hell Time Splitters
I
is.
can guarantee you, anyone under the age of 15 has no idea what it is. I would go as far as say like anyone under the age of 25 has no idea what it is.
It hasn't been that long.
They would have been 5 years old when the game came out.
You know,
Also,
you know,
It's
about,
not like FPSs had a long life cycle at that time.
you know about their parents.
and
They might have cool parents.
The big hype at that time was that you could hook up two consoles and get 8 people playing it.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Dude, that was what I'll do.
When it worked. Sometimes it was always a hassle to get that going. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that's a thing.
I don't think it's anything. I think it was just more. Yeah, we bought the rights to this.
I don't disagree.
Buy the old games.
I know.
I hope
I
I'm
don't
wrong.
disagree.
But here's the thing: like, even if they were to put out a new one, it may be completely different than what it was.
It
I was
It
just gonna
has
say-
to be.
I was just gonna say that's what I mean. Like I don't know if they'd be able to get that magic. Like it feels
Right.
the same. Like I don't know. Be like, oh, cool. Time. Yeah, it's got the name Time Splitters, but is it actually? It doesn't feel like it. You know
It's
what
one
I
of those
mean?
things now, like as far as old FPS games, like GoldenEye was like the gold standard for so long because the N64 had the 4 controller ports and you can
Right,
have
right.
people playing. Have you gone back and played GoldenEye anytime
so
recently?
It's
bad.
Yeah,
It's
real
so
bad.
brutal.
Excuse me.
yeah. That's the thing. Like those things that were like masterpieces in their time. I'm not sure it could be carried over
Yeah.
to today. GoldenEye, I think, can because it's an established IP, and as long as you adapt it to modern controls and pretty it
Sure.
up, that
They
one I
remade
think can.
GoldenEye. They've already remade GoldenEye.
They did.
And on
And then-
GameCube.
I forget where it came out on. Well, then there's that rumored
The Xbox Live version.
Xbox Live. Yeah.
They have like achievements
They
come
have
up on that
achievements and
everything?
everything for it. They've got everything for it. Well, supposedly, was it? Oh, the end of this month, isn't it? The anniversary.
Yep.
I think that's what everyone was kind of thinking. So we'll see. Well, I guess we'll find out this month. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that way it would be fine.
Right.
Yeah, but it's still,
but
it's
even like Time Splitters doesn't have that
No.
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 history, that popular IP behind it.
Yeah, I think it's they acquired it. Whoever who was it, THQ I think acquired it, or THQ Nordic, is that who actually has it now?
I have no idea.
Whoever has it,
THQ Nordic has like 9 billion IPs.
You know
it's either them or
You know
Embracer
what?
Group.
if it's, I don't know if it's HQ Nordic, they're fucking nuts. They will release a new one.
I think. I mean, and so they had that acquisition, and then the old games that were on Xbox became on backward compatibility. They're always on sale, so you always
Right.
You always kind of see them bubbling up around there. I think it's possible that they would make a new one. I would hope that they would do like a reboot type of thing.
They'd have to.
But
100%. They would just call it Time Splitters.
You can't even make it like I don't think you can make it in the same style because like all the FPS games now are way more twitchy than anything at that time was.
right? Can you imagine? I mean, I would think it'd be really cool to have like modern graphics going through different time periods.
Yeah.
I think that would be super neat. I think they could do it. I think they would actually have to put like an actual like story around it though.
There was a story behind Time Splitters too.
I mean, like
You're in different time settings, and then eventually a fucking time splitter jumps out of a portal, and it's impossible to kill.
yeah, that was terrible. But I think it can be done. I just don't think it will be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, last one. A few months ago, there's all kinds of rumors that at least 3 different games were in development for Silent Hill.
Oh, goodness.
Do you think any
Oh,
Silent Hill games currently exist?
Is Konami still in the IP?
Yep.
Yes.
Nope.
I
I don't think Konami has an interest in developing video games.
There was just so
Oh,
much
they've-
noise around it recently.
They've been slowly making their way back into the game development world.
Nah.
They released that they released that Japan only side scrolling RPG on the Switch that was on NES or Super Nintendo, I think, back in the day.
Oh, God.
I forget, it had some crazy
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
really
yeah,
fucked up game, but everyone says it's actually very good. And even the new one's supposed to be very good. So they did come out with that. I mean, they've been giving us more of the the collections. I mean, we got the Castlevania Anniversary, Game Boy Advance collection, so that was nice.
They've been doing stuff that involves like minimal effort, though.
Right,
100%.
but that's the idea of it. That there was 3 different studios making games.
Right.
Like, Konami isn't making these games.
No,
they're not even publishing these games.
Right,
I
they're
don't
not.
think.
Yeah, they're working on that stuff, the easy stuff.
Yeah.
But it seems like, I think they finally realized they needed to get back in the gaming world. So like, it's slowly happening.
Pachinko machines.
Not so much. I mean, they're still making plenty out of that.
Slot machines.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're still making plenty of that. But it's like, but I think that's a whole division now. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? That's like that's a whole division.
The last time we were in Vegas, I sat down at a slot machine, saw Konami at one point, and just cashed out and walked away.
Dude, half the machines are fucking Konami.
Out.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because I lost so much money.
That's right. I got a $25 free play for a Konami machine. So I'll at least play that. At least $25. Well, those machines, those odds are terrible on those machines too. They just take your money. But if you hit really big. But
Whole other, different kind of gaming we're getting into here.
oh yeah. So
Keep gaming.
I don't think so. Only because everyone thought that that studio, what's the name of their that did the Medium. Blooper. Everyone thought that, and then they were about to announce something. And they did announce something. Well, it was a remake of Layers of Fear.
Yeah.
in UE5, which looks incredible. So it's like, okay, well, that was the big one, the last big studio that was like that everyone thought was working on it, and now they're not. Obviously, Blue Point is working on something. If potentially it could be a remake of Silent Hill 1. But again, I think they would need to do a much bigger project now, though. Especially after doing Demon Souls, I think remaking any of the old Silent Hills are 2 small projects. They're not; those games were not very. I mean, we're talking like original Resident Evil. It's like 6 to 8 hours. What I mean?
I think that if I would hope that maybe they can do like a 1 and 2 type of thing. Just like
right. It would have to be 2 of the games, I think, together. Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that would be the way to do is 1 and 2. I mean, the best ones. But I think at this point, like, I don't think it is. Like, I don't know. I just feel like this one, I don't feel like they're doing right now. I feel like if any of the Konami stuff's going to come back, I think just because they've seen how much money they've been making off Castlevania lately, I could see them maybe having a Castle. I think if any of the games IPs are going to come back, I think it would be a new Castlevania.
Then that was going to be the point I was going to bring up. Like, if they're going to put resources into remaking one of their IPs, is Silent Hill really the one they're going to do it with?
I think that's the one that makes the most sense because I don't think they can make a Metal Gear.
Why not?
Because I don't think
they're just remaking the original games.
If it's a remake,
still think I
wonder what the technicality would be on that, because even like Twin Snakes, like Kojima was involved with.
Right, that's what I mean.
Even though it was like not done by Konami,
right?
But Kojima was involved.
I don't know if you can just make a Metal Gear game without Kojima, and then
they did.
Metal Gear Survive.
Oh yeah, well, how'd that go?
Well, but if you're just taking what Kojima was already involved in and slapping a new coat of paint on it, maybe giving it some new controls.
Yeah, I mean maybe.
I mean, I think that moves the needle more than Silent Hill does. Castlevania definitely moves the needle more than Silent Hill does.
Honestly, I don't know if a non-Kojima Metal Gear Solid moves the needle more than a new Silent Hill. Because new Silent Hill can be anything.
Well, you're talking about like just relaunching the IP. I thought we were talking about remaking the games.
We could be talking about. I mean, we're talking about a Silent Hill game, or we're talking because again, there's 3 different ones in development. I don't know if they were remakes or reboots or something completely new or whatever. So are you saying that a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake?
I'm saying if they're going to remake an IP.
Okay.
If they're going to remake an IP,
okay.
Yes, Metal Gear would be the obvious choice in terms of a remake.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to remake a 2D platform in Castlevania.
No. I mean, they can always release an upscaled version.
If you're going to redo Castlevania, you're going to redo Castlevania.
Right.
Yeah, and they haven't. I mean, they've done the 3D ones in the PlayStation 3 era, the Lords of Shadow.
Yeah, Lords of Shadow.
1 and 2. So that was kind of like a reboot.
1 was great.
For them.
2 not so much.
Never played it.
No one really did. For good reason.
Overall, that they're gonna remake Contra.
They already did. Contra, remember Contra?
Contra.
Well, not remake, but
Corp.
remember Rogue Corp. That's what Konami
it-
did recently.
put
They
it
gave
in-
us a new Contra.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Trash. I remember playing that demo. I was like, "What is this shit?"
But I mean,
Terrible.
I honestly think going back to the original thing, I still think, let's say Bluepoint is remaking a Konami game. I still think a Silent Hill remake, just one, let's just say one, just for argument's sake. I still think that would be more well received than a non-Kojima Metal Gear Solid 1 remake.
Isn't Silent Hill a Kojima project too?
No, Silent Hills was supposed to be.
And then that was supposed to be his like next after Metal Gear 5. That was supposed to be his
But he
next
wasn't
project.
involved in the original ones.
No.
No, not at all. Nope. Because I mean, yeah,
I don't
'cause,
know the story of Silent Hill, to be honest with you, in terms of like creators and things like that.
God, I don't
No.
remember now. I used to know, but I don't remember.
I don't.
I can't think of it right now.
I think just because there's so much buzz around, like Silent Hill's been gone for so long.
See, and here's,
PT holds rent in so many different people's minds.
that was part of the problem, is releasing that PT and then the Silent Hills. Well, that's the thing. Everyone still has a Kojima Silent Hill on the mind too. Like that's a big thing. Like
I
a Kojima / Del Toro Silent Hill basically is on their mind.
God, I hope Kojima Production makes a horror game next. Oh my god.
Please let that be the Xbox game. Like please.
So are you saying that a Silent Hill would sell better than a non-Kojima Metal Gear just because people still hold a grudge over how the whole Kojima Konami divorce went down?
I think a mix of that. It sounds like a watered down project already because Kojima's not involved. It's not a Metal Gear. It's not a Hideo Kojima game. Metal Gear Solid.
I would say, well, if you're just focusing on like the bitterness aspect, I think people have the same bitterness over Silent Hills never coming to light.
No, I see that too. But I still think Silent Hill as a whole franchise is separate from anything Kojima. He was supposed to make one
100%.
game and it didn't work out.
No, I agree. But and also though, everyone, I have a feeling that this is gonna be it's gonna be. I know, and this might be why they've been holding off, and maybe for good reason. I think this is one of those where everyone's begging for Silent Hill to come back, begging for it to come back. It sells like 2 million copies, or if it even hits 1 million copies. You know what I mean? When it actually comes out, it doesn't sell.
Well, this could very well go the route of the Onimusha when they remastered that game a few years ago.
Clearly, that didn't sell well,
and
because
we've heard none of it since.
We didn't get any of the other ones.
Yeah,
We didn't get
or
a new
anything
one.
new or
We didn't get
anything.
anything else. We didn't get the old ones again.
Right.
Also, any of the other ones. So yeah, I'm assuming it was everyone was like, yeah, it's back, and no one bought it.
I bought it,
I bought it 3 times.
and we've done our part.
I bought it on every system.
Don't remember if I bought it.
Art's a problem.
Damn it, Art.
I feel like I
Oh no, I bought it
played
twice. I
it.
take that back twice. I bought it on Switch Digital, and I bought the physical on Xbox.
That's right. I remember
I
you
feel
saying
like I
that.
played it, so maybe I bought it.
I definitely bought it.
But I mean, I don't know. I just have a feeling that's probably. I have a feeling that's the way Silent Hill is going to go too. If they were to end up doing a Silent Hill, I just have a feeling that's how it's going to go. Unless it is Bluepoint remaking 1 and 2. If it's a 1 and 2 combo remake, or even take 1 out of it. If it's a remake of 2, it will sell. I think that will sell like crazy.
Oh man, like I part of me also just wants them to just make Silent Hills and start new, start fresh, start like current gen, and then just pick a studio that can do that. I don't know. Silent Hills is almost getting to like mythological levels, and like they're good games. You know what I mean? It's like I think like it's
Absolutely. I mean, they were right up there with the Resident Evil games for so long. I mean, actually, part of that backwards compatible sale, I just bought Homecoming.
Oh, yeah.
I never played through Homecoming. I heard that one's a little rough, but I never played through Homecoming, so I was like, oh,
I've
I'll
actually-
grab that $6.
Yeah, no. I've been meaning to play 2 and 3 for a long time. I just sold my. I had a stack of like 5 or 6 PlayStation 1 games, and finally just sold them because
Yeah.
they're not. And I got like. And what's really funny about it too is I got my.
Were they the big box ones?
No.
No.
This like it was like Final Fantasy 7. It was Metal Gear. It was Wu-Tang Clan.
You sold Wu-Tang, huh?
Yeah, I did. I got the original Silent Hill, which was by far my most the best one I got. What was funny about it was the original receipt. I still kept them in some of the cases.
Nice.
So how much do you think Silent Hill cost me in 1999?
It's 99. $39.99.
$49.99. I did the conversion. If everyone's interested, it is now. That means there's currently, I think it was like
$80.
$88 or $89.
Yeah,
is like
that
current
sounds about right.
value
Yeah,
of it.
that sounds about right.
So when I was bitching about how much games cost.
I'm pretty sure we brought this point up when they announced
Yeah.
current gen games would be $70.
But it's so funny, like, and that's almost the exact money I got when I got it, like when I sold it. It was like it was like current money value. Like I broke even on Silent Hill over 20, 30 years
Plus interest.
plus
Yeah,
interest,
that's right.
Oh, plus inflation.
plus inflation. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's like I think I also don't think Silent Hill is a thing right now until proven otherwise. Until it's seen something concrete that's not just rumors of what we think it. I don't think it exists right now, unfortunately.
Nope. No Silent Hill projects exist. No Metal Gear projects exist.
No Konami projects exist that anyone cares about.
Like I said, if there is one, I would put my money on Castlevania if there was one. Just because they've been making a lot of money off Castlevania lately with releasing the old stuff.
And they're having the second season of their anime on Netflix, or second or third season come out sometime soon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's all I got. Those are the games that do not exist. I can't wait to just all blow up on Friday with a THQ thing.
Dead Island 2, man. I'm telling you.
You're probably right.
Dead Island 2. Wait a minute. So Dead Island 2. What was the only one we said?
Maybe Time Splitters.
Oh, Time
Maybe
Splitters.
Time
Yeah, they're gonna show a title card for Time
They're going to
Splitters.
announce they bought the Silent Hill IP.
Yeah. We're gonna get first really good look at AEW.
Oh yeah, dude. I watched those leaked things.
Looks okay.
That's fine.
My groan is more that, like, when they first announced that, they said they were going to go with one of the older wrestling engines. I'm just disappointed they went with the SmackDown instead of the AKI engine.
Yeah.
It was really funny. I'm playing WWE 2K22, and I'm watching AEW. By the time like the next round of the wrestling games come out, if WWE 2K23 comes out,
Yeah.
basically all the people I care about are not even going to be in that game because
No,
they're
right,
all
no.
either in AEW now or somewhere in the ether of indie wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're signing everyone back.
They are signing some
That's
people
true.
back. Triple H is getting this up. Okay, super side note. I don't know even why I'm bringing this up. So I never watch anything live anymore. Like one of the main reasons I'm watching AEW now is because they're on TNT and TBS app, and I can watch the full episode the next day. I thought that was also true with like Raw and SmackDown and stuff like that. So I was
Hulu.
like, they're on Hulu,
Yeah.
but it's only the 90-minute like super edited version of it where they just cut matches out and cut things out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
so I'm
that.
like, why is it only 90 minutes? And I watched it. And I was
that's
like,
lame.
And it was just like, man, Bianca Belair's on this episode a lot.
Yeah.
And
That explains. There was one episode I watched with the kid, and I want to say, like, the Usos were in like every third segment.
right. So
I'm like, damn, they're really featuring the Usos.
Yeah.
I know the Bloodline's a whole thing, but damn.
So it's like it was that, and it was just like they don't even like it's like people are just in the ring, like so they don't even show like the second entrance. They don't even show the first
really?
entrance.
Okay.
And then I was like, I didn't catch on the first week. And then the next week they show like, oh, last week on Raw, this guy fought this guy. I'm like, that didn't happen. I didn't see that. And I look back, I'm like, oh, this is
Dark match.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this like they edited it to like they streamlined it to 90 minutes only, and they cut out just full things.
Like, why would you not just? Why would like?
I
you show everything on Peacock, so like, why would they all the full episodes not
Right.
be available on
I would
Peacock?
say I don't
No
know.
idea.
I don't know why you would do that. Wouldn't it just be easier? Like, okay, we can cut out the commercials, and here's the video.
The ones on Peacock are like.
What about the pay-per-views? Can you rewatch those like in full,
Yes.
like after?
On Peacock, you can watch the you can watch the
Okay.
pay-per-views in
Curious.
full.
Okay.
But like the Raws and SmackDowns, they're like a month or 2 months back, so you can watch the. I mean, you'll be like,
I'm
wait,
gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch Nitro from 2000.
You can watch ECW TV on it if you wanted to.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing.
Go watch the New Jack Dark Side of the Ring again.
Ooh. I gotta start
Sandman's
watching.
just laughing the whole time.
I gotta start watching those Dark Side of the Rings.
Oh yeah, I gotta
Alright.
watch those.
I only watched the one. I want to watch others, but the kids around. I don't know.
All right. See you next time, stickheads.